Hello and welcome to Overwatch University. This is Pimp at the Crib, and joining me today is Mushu Beef and Tough on Dirt. How you guys doing? Yeah, I'm happy to have you here too. And tonight we will be having another one of our Midweek Madness events. Today I do have a little bit more flair for the production side. Oh, your guys' audio did not go through. Um, I got this new panel thing, so I'm getting adjusted to it. So once again, let's introduce Mushu Beef and Tough on Dirt. It's Mushu Beef's first time being on the cast. How are you guys doing?
I'm doing great, man. I'm glad to be here. Glad to be here with the succulent Mushu beef. But
Ooh,
yeah, I'm looking forward to the game.
All
it's
right,
not the first time I've been called tasty before, so thanks for having me, guys.
yeah, we're happy to have you here for the first time, Mushu. So as I said earlier, we're having another one of our Midweek Madness events. Midweek Madness is where we get people sign up as solos, and it's kind of like a pug tournament event where we put people on equivalent teams of skill level based on their SR, at least as close as we can, and we pit them up in a variety of different ways depending on the number of teams. Today we have 5 teams, so we're just going to be doing best of ones between each team, round robin. This way we don't run into like the tournament lasting for 5 hours if we were to do like um, what's it called, like if we just did best of threes for a this round robin, or if we did the double elimination, it would last a long time. So we're just gonna make it. It's gonna be like 2 hours or so. Someone was asking in chat. There is no prize pool for this. First up, we are gonna be having Fat Fingers going up against Hello Mutta, and Fat Fingers we will be following them for the majority of the time. But um, so Doomfist came out recently. What are you guys thinking? This is gonna be our first time having Doomfist in our one of our events. If you watched EU earlier, there was pretty much Doomfist in every comp. A few times they switched off, but for the most part they were there. You guys expecting to see a lot of Doomfist today?
Oh my God, I can't even begin to say how much of Doomfist I want to see. Doomfist is he's still going to be new to the meta, so people are still going to be feeling him out and seeing exactly where he fits in. But I think with this kind of game, it's probably the best place to see him because there's not like a ton riding on these games. So I think we're going to see a lot of Doomfist, or at least I'm hoping for it.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, his kit is so crazy to be able to chain together CC and knock people around, and the rocket punch, and of course the meteor strike. I mean, so many opportunities for wombo combos as well. Throw a graviton surge in there and line everyone up. Hopefully, we get some pretty crazy plays today.
Yeah, and I mean, there's a lot of discussion within the communities about is Doomfist, overpowered because he does have like a one hit kill ability with his rocket punch. Some people kind of compared it to Roadhog. I don't think the ability is that much of an issue. He's a melee hero. He has to really get into there to be able to do damage. But compared to Roadhog, he's not a tank. He's a DPS. So it's kind of like expected for. I mean, you look at heroes that have one shot abilities, like the snipers, or even like Junkrat has like a one shot ability pretty much with his trap and stuff. But it's because he's a DPS. They're meant to be doing those like high bursting damage. And one drawback, yeah, he gets outranged, Doomfist. So I don't think that. I mean, he's going to be too much of an issue. It's really really early for to make these assumptions that people want to call in nerfs and stuff. But what do you guys think on that? Do you think he's overpowered, or do you think it's just too early to tell?
Yeah, I think
I
it's
play a
definitely.
lot. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, go
Luffy.
ahead. Go ahead. Tough on dirt. You take it away.
I've been thinking he's a little overpowered in my opinion because I play a lot of Genji and I always get one shot by him. But I mean that's it. I really think it depends on how he shifts the meta because at the same time there's other characters who are benefiting from having him. So for example, Sombra has become very strong now because she can hack him and just completely devastate any Doomfist that she sees on the field.
It's going to be about how the team can play around him, because if he's going to the back line on his own and gets called out on the comms, then the team will be able to fall back and deal with him as well. I mean, when you're going on a flank, you're actually overextending, and if the team turns on you, then that could, pretty much just eliminate your threat. So Doofus, I kind of see more as a big risk, big reward kind of pick. If you can execute really well and your team can put pressure on the front line into the tanks, and then to be able to push the back line or allow the rest of the team to be distracted, then that's going to be where Doomfist really shines.
Yeah, I just got the confirmation that both teams are ready, so we're going to be getting in here. As you see the map pool right now, we have this isn't for this whole series between these two teams. The map pool right now is between the is just going to be Numbani for these two teams, but that's going to be the whole map pool for this event in the order of when the maps will be played. So from left to right, as you see, I'm gonna heads up, we are going to be having some instant replay action. You'll see some new features here. I didn't give you guys the heads up beforehand, but if you guys witness a thing, you know, that you think should have been play-by-play worthy, you know, just make sure you give me a heads up to let me know, and I will try to replay that back for you as quick as possible. But yeah, Numbani here, both teams.
Yeah, fancy stuff.
So yeah, I'm excited to test this out. So hopefully everyone else likes it and it works out.
Yeah, definitely looking forward to that. But no Doomfist, guys.
No.
Can someone fix this? Can we get a remake, please, until we get some Doomfist on here? But I believe we have Fat Fingers on the blue side, and then also Team Hello Mutta on the red as well. So tough on dirt. And we're seeing the Widow here on the attack. Widow in the Genji. I mean, it's such an interesting interaction. Be able to put pressure on the front line and on the back. So I mean, of this, who has a more key role here in that damage duo?
Oh, Doomfist just got put on, so we're not going to see the Genji anymore. But it's hard to say. Widowmaker, she can be very strong, especially since the opposing team does not have a Reinhardt to really take care of those shots. But Winston can block with his shield, so we'll really see if Mingo can put in the damage, and Genji goes down right off the bat. Very nice shot from Mingo, already putting in work and showing the DPS that she's going to put into this game. It looks like we got Hello Mutta coming in from the corner here. Got a little bit of a defense going on there, but they're making a tough push to the top area. They are taking that top area very aggressively. Anna's on the point, already pushing everybody off to the bottom, and we got top point decisively. Mingo in there doing a lot of damage. One by one, the defense is falling down, and Fat Fingers is just taking this point decisively. Genji's really the only person left on the point, but I think that's going to be the end of it.
For sure, yeah. I mean, that was such a quick take. The early pick from the Widowmaker was so clutch there because it just completely opened up the point, right? Because you're depending on that person to be able to do damage in the upper ground. I believe, I mean, I don't actually even know. That would have been the Genji up there just trying to get some sight lines on. So the Genji can't get to your back line. That's just going to be the end of the push. So they just give it up very easily.
And exactly, and that momentum that you get from that first kill very quickly just allows the team to move forward. And taking advantage of that momentum, they did that excellently. They took the high ground, they controlled the high ground, killed people off one by one, and eventually, won that push. And now they're on the cart, just pushing it along.
Yeah, very strong push still here, but we do see the ultimate coming out from the side. MKI going to be popping that. But it looks like he's going to be getting to the back. He does get the kill onto TLMM. Oh, so Hello Mutta losing one of their damages, but everyone's still up right here, even trade.
They kind of penetrate into this defense here. Looks like they're going to fall back just a little bit, staying on the point, staying in Winston's shield, and really trying to figure out exactly how they want to go in. Widowmaker does go down, does be a lot of DPS gone from Hello Mutta there, but they are going to try to continue pushing in on this point. They finally get Diva D-Mech, but that's when the Lucio comes out with his breakdown, and he's going to give his team a lot more defense. Oh, very nice tactical advisor coming in from TLMO. That's going to get the cart pushing for him, Hello Mutta.
Oh man, that tac advisor came in, and then they're already in retreat, and still there is a self-destruct kill for Aziz there. Sorry, actually, that was on Prime from Team Hello Mutta on the red side. So, I mean, a really good combination there. Don't know if they really needed that self-destruct, but, if it pushes them along and secures them this point, then that's going to be worth, but they do contest here.
Genji coming in on the point. Oh, just get taken out very quickly. And we have a nano boosted Dina on the point for Fat Fingers, or Hello Mutta. I'm sorry. She comes in, doing a little bit of damage, and that's when Zenyatta pops his ult, keeping his team all healed up. The defense is doing a great job of staying on this point. Mutta needs to find a way to come in and break in the lines. No kills just yet, but a lot of damage coming out there. Monkey Rage finally comes out. Mingo takes down Zenyatta. Ospos takes out Cement. Prime takes out the Diva. It looks like Mutta Fingers are going to take those picks and move on forward. They still have a Genji on the point though, holding them back, but he's gonna get taken out very quickly here. Yes, he does. Hello Muda doing a great job of keeping this cart rolling.
Yeah, they did, and a big reason for that was the Widowmaker in the back line. No one even touched that entire fight and still holding on to that ultimate as well, so going to be able to know exactly where the people are coming from despite lack of sight lines on this last point. A little bit tough for the Widowmaker.
Hang out in dividends here.
Yeah, for sure. Is that we do see a pick there on the soldier trying to peek around that left side. The bomb does come out, but everyone is able to jump away from it, and now they're applying the pressure they need onto that Widowmaker, and she goes down.
DPS down there for Hello Muda, so they're gonna fall back here, try to get in. D.Va actually popping her ult on the point. Can she get a couple kills? 3 kills! Triple kill on the point. That's amazing. That's gonna mean that this defense is slightly crushed. They're gonna have to come back together in a big way if they want this card to be stopped. But Muda is not stopping. They're continuing forward. Winston jumps on the point, trying to defend the card as best he can, but he might not be enough. Pops his rage just to keep himself alive, and that's when his team comes in to back him up. Hello Muda might have a tough time here, but that's when the nano boost comes out there on D.Va, and she's gonna try to do as much damage as she can.
Yeah, that's going to be the ultimate coming out for the Lucio on the defense for Fat Fingers as well. Going to be keeping them topped off. So the combination of those two ultimates is going to keep them alive. And now the trade kills are going to be coming through. And the ultimate coming out for the Genji is going to be getting 2 kills there. So the defense looks like it might be able to hold, but this Winston might have something else to say. Shuski going to be ripping out the Primal Rage and trying to bat everyone off the point, but he's the only one left. Exactly.
He doesn't have enough. He doesn't have enough backup here. Everybody's still spawning, so he's gonna die, and Hello Muda is really gonna have to come back to it. What were some defining moments of that play that you saw, Mushu?
Yeah, I mean, we saw the sound barrier coming out from the defensive side. Cranial Pain popping that at the right moment, keeping everyone topped off because it looked like it was about to turn. It was actually a pretty even fight. Hello Muda coming in on the attack. But yeah, they keep finding the picks now. They're adjusting and finding the kills onto this Widowmaker, and so they'll be able to stall this again. Bolt TPS going down.
Oh man, that is looking rough for Hello Muda. Their Ana's down and Soldier's down as well. They're gonna have to fall back and really figure out exactly how they want to penetrate, and this Winston is not even letting them do that. Taking down the Lucio as well. Tracer might go down here in a second. Winston goes down. Fat Fingers is just doing work on this defense. This last point is a doozy to hold, but they got all the ults and they got all the damage apparently as well.
Yeah, can you believe they held that? Still now with 6 full ults. That's the 6 stack right there. I don't even know. There needs to be some fancy name for that when you have all 6 ultimates ready to go. But Choppy Gamer on the Genji on the defense here for Fat Fingers is doing such big work. I mean, we saw the Dragon Blade earlier on that defense, and then a triple kill just off of dash resets. That's something you cannot allow to happen on the side of Hello Muda. But here they go. They engage.
Con Surge comes out, and here we go with the Genji ult. He comes in, tries to clean up, barely gets anybody, does get the Lucio, but doesn't quite clean up like he could have. However, Hello Muda is still gonna have to back off here. They look like a lot of damage, and with only a Winston and D.Va on the point, they don't really have the damage to keep going. Winston's trying to get in here and push the best he can, but he's gonna get taken out in the back, especially with a Discord Rev on him. Pumps the ult, going in for the pushes, but does get taken out there in the back eventually. It was a good push, but just did not succeed in the end there because they were going into so many ults.
Yeah, I mean, they got caught out by the Graviton Surge. Z's dropping it in the great spot because we saw already the Winston Shuski on Hello Muda, the red side attacking team, jump past that. And so he was just kind of taking on the whole team on his own, while meanwhile everyone else is on the backside and couldn't even come up because of the Graviton Surge.
Muda coming in again, but they still do not have the advantage as far as ults go. Gonna pop that D.Va ult, try to get a little bit of damage there. Nobody gets taken down, but it does give them a little bit of space to work with. Doomfist coming in, gonna fight Winston in the air. Can he get the damage? Has to fall back. D.Va is on the point though, has a Discord Rev on him. Might not get D-Mech, does get D-Mech. Hello Muda really needs to find a way in, and that's when the defensive ults come out from the defense. They're gonna have a lot of health and really be able to hold this card.
Choppy Gamer getting triple kill despite there being a meteor strike. I don't think he even hit anybody. And one of the issues we're seeing here, Hello Muda not able to finalize on the kills, and they're just getting split up on the fights. Their tanks feeling so confident off of the early push, but they are just overextending and not giving the peel for the rest of the team. Wonder to see if they're going to see 20 seconds left to go. Are they going to make the adjustments they need to push forward here? This is the last push.
This is going to be a dry push, and both teams have, neither team has ult, so it's really going to be interesting to see how these guys go about.
We do see a flank though. TLML coming up from the high ground here, and the bubble's going to be coming up, but the Choppy Gamer going to be running at him as well. So that they're going to be canceling themselves out as now Genji jumps onto the background. But here we go, another Graviton Surge, and now everyone is pretty much caught in there. And despite the sound barrier, everyone gets chunked down by the damage combination of the Pulse Bomb and Choppy Gamer's Blade.
Yeah, man, that Graviton Surge is really just controlling Hello Muda here. They're going to try to fight for this point, though. Shushki going ham on the Monkey, trying to do a little bit of damage, push people off the point just enough to get Ana on the point a little bit, see if they can push it a little farther with their team as their team respawns. However, Fatfingers is getting the respawns as well, so it looks like they may be able to hold up their defense here. We do have a couple of kills coming out. Mingo gets a nice kill on Lucio, keeping them alive, or keeping Lucio down for the defensive team. It's hit or miss as to who's going to take it now.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. How did Wingo Dynasty even get that angle going to the right, to the flank, getting behind the team? And the nano boosted Winston going to be fizzling out in time, but the overtime is now in effect here. We're going to see if Fatfingers can mount the defense. They're going to jump out the last second, but the pick on the Zenyatta.
With a Genji, though, Genji's going to come in here, get a double kill. Looks like almost a double kill. Going for the Ana if he can. Self-destruct on the point as well. But the Winston shields are going to somewhat negate that. He does get one kill on the Monkey, though. Fatfingers are doing a great job of staying on the point with both tanks, but they do not have the reinforcements they need. Tracer on the point, though, getting a lot of damage. Can they get this push in here?
Man, they forgot what they needed, what was working with them so well at the choke point. Take care of that Widowmaker on the side, and you'll win. But she's just there doing damage, and that's going to be the game. Oh man, feels so bad for Fatfingers. Such a good defense to the choke point, but they just let it slide a little bit too much and forgot their focus.
Around there, they lost a lot of their players, and a lot of it was because Mingo was uncontested at some points. When she was contested, when she couldn't get those angles, they really, held a good defense. But the minute you let a Widowmaker, get under your skin, then it's all over.
Yeah, that's right. And she had such a good angle there too. I mean, because the fight is so chaotic, and on the side of Helamuda, it's Shuski was doing such a good job staying alive. I mean, that's one thing that was so critical for Helamuda to be able to push through onto the end there, because you saw when it was like 2v2, it was just a Winston and the Ana. So I mean, together they're such a big health pool as well as the burst healing. So I mean, that allowed the reinforcements to come in and then the Widow to get that angle. So both of those together going to be really key for the defense here.
I gotta say, out of Hello Muda, they did have they were playing Doomfist there for a little bit. He was taking the place of Soldier, but why do you think they switched that out there, Mushu?
I mean, they didn't have the crowd control that they really wanted, and I think the barriers coming out from those bubbles from Zarya, Aziz had such good bubbles there, denying so much damage, as well as the crowd control effects of Doomfist that makes him so powerful. And with the Doomfist, you really want to have an angle to be able to come off of the flank and try to stun somebody, but that is such a narrow corridor that there's very few spots that you can really take advantage of. Now, granted, TLMO, we saw him approaching like straight down the line. That's not what you want to do as Doomfist, unless your entire team is just going to dive in. So maybe felt like not comfortable, just bring it out, just trying to mix it up. So yeah, we'll see here if who brings out Doomfist next. But again, it's about the flanks. It's about getting those picks with that charge.
I do gotta give them props though for actually playing Doomfist, getting him into the meta and trying to seeing how he feels. That's exactly what these types of games are for. Anyway, Fatfingers coming around the backhand side, looking like they want to get a little bit of a jump here on Hello Muda. Hello Muda is going to take the high ground on the back area there, and Fatfingers is going to go ahead and notice that they have the high ground on the left-hand side, going to go in the back room and try to take the high ground back here for themselves, going in for the Ana, taking out the Ana very quickly, taking out the Orisa very quickly as well. That's gonna mean it's gonna be very easy for them to come in and pick off these last two classes. Soldier runs down, has barely any health. Widow has to get away as well, and that's gonna mean that, wow, Fatfingers just take this point very quickly.
Yeah, but Halamada coming back with a double kill with that Helix rocket, and they're actually looks like they're gonna be able to hold here. They're able to absorb the pressure from Fatfingers on the approach, and Mingo Dynasty still alive with that ultimate already.
Were in danger. Mingo and TLMO both just got out of there completely. They said, you know what, I can't take this fight. I'm going to move to where I can. Mingo got way out of the fight and got the picks where she could get them without getting damaged herself. And TLMO just kind of, ran around a corner and hid until he got a little more support from the Winston. So that was very well played. It was kind of a bend and bounce back moment there.
Oh man, Mingo Dynasty buying them so much time, losing a healer. It's so crucial here because you're running the 2-2-2 in this meta, and that is half of your healing pretty much gone. And I mean, the only one that can heal at a distance too, and now popping that ultimate, just trying to get some picks, and I'm gonna see that they're just gonna be dancing in that corner.
And it's gonna be worse now because Hello Muda here now has the wall hack, so they can see where everybody's coming from. Mingo doing a great job of really just stopping these pushes, but we finally get a push coming in from Fat Fingers. Going to try to come in from the bottom here, going for the Orisa right off the bat, trying to take her down with the with Winston's beam. But Mingo getting the kills on Lucio. Lucio from the defense also taking down Genji. Man, it looks like Fat Fingers is just falling apart to this defense.
And Aziz there with the greatest damage done to herself, taking her own life, unfortunately. And that, I mean, so we saw the adjustments there from the side of Hello Muda, setting up the Orisa far away from where the Widowmaker was. So, I mean, we saw the team engage, Fat Fingers pushing in on that lower ground, but meanwhile, they had no idea where the shots are coming in from. And when it's so chaotic and you're trying to just crash your front lines together, sometimes it's really hard to tell where the damage is coming from. So, Hello Muda really showing the adjustments that they need to make. And we'll see how they set up here, where the Widowmaker decides to set up shop.
You know, I gotta say, every time that Mingo gets an early pick on a Genji or on a Zenyatta or some small clash, it actually stops the offense from coming in for about 10 seconds. That's a lot of time off on the point for them. We finally do have an engagement though. Winston coming on the point, takes out Mingo immediately right off the bat. That was top priority. Then pops his ult, going in, trying to do a little bit of damage, pushes Orisa off the top of the point, but that's when the nano boosted tactical visor comes out, putting in a lot of damage and keeping everybody off the point. TLMO doing some work, taking out Lucio as well. That's going to be another push fended off here by Hello Muda.
And Choppy Gamer not wasting a second, popping that ultimate, but going down to the tac visor from TLMO. I mean, that just takes the wind out of your sails there, but they decided to fall back and just you know, cut their losses short. It's Fat Finger. Oh my goodness, Mingo Dynasty again getting a pick onto the Tracer, buying them so much time.
TLML go down for Fat Fingers, or for Hello Muda. I mean, Fat Fingers might have a chance to go in here. Winston hopping on the point, going for the Orisa. Orisa's the only one left on the point, looks like almost, and does get taken down very quickly. Finally, Winston hops in, trying to do a lot of damage, but he's going to have 6 against 1 here. Finally pops his primal rage and goes into a berserk here on the point, just finding time so that TLMO can come in and back him up. But it's gonna be too late. He's gonna have to jump away, and finally, Fat Fingers can take that first point.
Yeah, it looks like they might be able to contest here, actually. The Primal Rage was keeping that tick below 1, but here comes Choppy Gamer coming in on the backside, but he's going to get that Widowmaker, but everyone else is fighting on the point here. It's, again, Shusky doing just a good job staying alive here. That Soldier is going to be staying behind everybody, but here comes the Graviton Surge. That Orisa Shield is going to be blocking a lot of the damage, and Shusky gets a double kill onto both supports here, so it could be anyone's game. Actually, only the Orisa left, and it looks like she's finally going to fall.
Oh man, that was a really good offense there. That was a really good defense there coming in from Hello Muda. They actually got they got a really nice potion or healing potion down onto Fat Fingers, and so that meant they weren't getting any heals. But then that that Graviton Surge came in from Aziz, and that really just clenched it for him, with Winston coming in to clean up and do the damage.
Yeah, I mean, that point would have been over a lot sooner if Shusky wasn't stalling the point at below 1 tick. I was around like 10% or so, and then allowed the team to, you know, he ran away to peel for the Soldier, and then they were able to come back. So, I mean, pushing them to overtime, unfortunately not able to hold, but here we'll see where they decide they want to contest. Shusky starting to jump in the back line.
You have Hello Muda kind of showing their bars here and kind of doing a little bit of damage on the point. Looks like they want to contest pretty far forward here, so they're going to come in on the point. Lucio coming in and get an excellent kill on the enemy Lucio, but that's where the Primal Rage comes out of the defense. Hello Muda is going to come in here and try to push Aziz straight off the map. Well done. Aziz falls off the map there, and Hello Muda is going to hop right back on this cart and really hold that defense pretty strong. We need Fat Fingers to find another way in.
Oh man, the way Shusky just jumped in and Primal Rage was up again. I mean, he just used that on the point to contest that first point, and so was able to farm his ultimate so well, and he was keeping everyone occupied, keeping 3 people in this room to the side under the Atria building. This little mall here, actually I don't even know what that is. But anyways, some fashion shop there, but not shopping here today. We're going in for the Dragon Blade as Choppy Gamer jumps to the back line here. That's going to be 3 kills falling very quickly, but Mingo Dynasty still finding the kills on the back.
Fingers finally getting that push they need, because Choppy Gamer coming in with an excellent Dragon Blade, just cleaning up with that damage. It looks like they're going to take this last point, or this second point here uncontested. Well done.
Yeah, I mean, we saw Choppy Gamer excel so much on the defense at this exact position here. So it's about time for him to be able to show up and bring out that blade to get those kills. And those fell so quickly there. So Helamuda wasn't able to even fall back.
Advantage though. It looks like Hello Muda does have the ult advantage and is holding onto it fairly well. They're gonna have to pop it here in a second though, possibly to hold this point. And here comes the D.Va ult, trying to get somebody. He does take out the Lucio and the Zenyatta. A good play. Oh, sorry, not the Lucio, the Tracer. Takes out the Tracer and the Zenyatta, and that's gonna mean that Fat Fingers has to fall back again.
Yeah, that was a big turning point there. I mean, they were all extended up around. Zarya would have gone down too, but fortunately that bubble was up, so he's able to charge up 40 energy off of that. But, I mean, only one ultimate used, and you look at their ults economy here. Shusuke about to get the ultimate as well, so Prime just used hers, but everyone else is going to have their ultimates ready to go for this next fight. And 1 minute and 20 seconds left to go. If they're able to really ration how they use their ultimates, they might be able to hold here before the last point.
We finally have some engagement coming in here. Nano boosted Lucio. I think that might have been a miss from the defense here. But we finally got Fat Fingers coming in, popping that Zenyatta ult, really trying to keep his team alive as he's going to come here and try to do a little bit of damage on the point. Mingo getting some nice kills, though, keeping the defense strong on the point. He's in the background actually doing a lot of work. Genji comes in with his Dragon Blade, though. Choppy getting 3 kills. That's going to clean up very nicely. Shusuke might be the last person left on this point to defend it. Popping his Primal Rage and trying to go in. Does take out Mingo, but can't quite get much else. Can't do much damage as a raged monkey. But we do have Tracer here just to defend the point just a little bit. That was a good engagement. It looks like Fat Fingers might have the push they need.
Yeah, I mean, it was a really good engagement, but they actually didn't get to push the point a lot. Actually, they're not going to be contesting it up here, so it was definitely worth it here. As all the ultimates were used on the side of Helamuda, so it's pretty much a wash here. Lucio, on the side of the attack, Cranial Pain, going to be holding on to that ultimate, that sound barrier to power them through this last moment, but the kills are falling through for the defense here on the side of Helamuda.
Fat Fingers really needs to figure out exactly how they want to get in, but they only got 8 seconds left, 6 seconds left. That's going to mean that really, unless their Tracer can somehow come in here and touch the cart. Genji on the cart, trying to do a little bit of, just trying to keep it going, Choppy on the point. But he looks like he's going to be taken out very quickly. D.Va actually pops off to keep everybody off the point. I think that's going to be the game, possibly. No, the team comes in with the reinforcements. Choppy did just enough time to keep everybody on, to keep the point alive. Lucio and Winston both on the point, trying to get a lot of damage. Shusuke takes out Aziz though. That's gonna mean Fat Fingers have a little less damage on the point.
Yeah, we do see them still contesting here. Who is left alive except for Shusuke, and another. Oh no, that's not gonna be on the defense. The sound barrier keeping everyone alive again. And as people are starting to fall, only the Tracer left, and that pretty much is going to be the game unless Choppy Gamers is going to be able to get a lot of kills here. But that Widowmaker still on that backside doing a lot of damage. They can't get the damage on the DPS, so that's going to allow the rest of the team to reinforce. Aziz already coming back with the bubbles.
This is awesome. They actually trickled in just enough to keep everybody alive. Choppy's still alive, but nobody was touching the cart. Oh, that's so depressing. Shusuke came in at the last second, pushed everybody off the cart. Choppy was doing his thing with his Genji sword, and that meant that nobody was touching the point. And that's going to be the game too.
Yeah, and we saw the same story from the beginning to the end, which was when you don't look at Mingo Dynasty on the Widowmaker, you are going to lose. And we saw, and of course, yeah, we're going to see play the game here from Mingo Dynasty as well. Yeah, this is that early push when they were defending. The team was entirely set up on the right side, a lower flank, and you can see just how chaotic it is on that fight. You're worrying about the Winston with the Tesla cannon shocking you to death, and meanwhile you're just getting headshotted from across the way. There's just no way you're going to be able to deal with that unless you somehow burn the front line down really quickly. So congrats to Team Helamuda for taking that first win here in the round robin, and we'll be on to the next game.
At the same time, go ahead there.
No, it was definitely exciting. I was really rooting for Fat Fingers, not just because we're going to be fouling the whole time, but they struggled quite a bit, and they came back, and they just were like a non-stop force until like that last point, and they ended up. Choppy Gamer had an amazing amount of Dragon Blades throughout this whole game. And it looked like him and Cement could have pulled that through, but when you have a Widow just popping your team off like that, there's really nothing that, it's out of your hands, if you don't take care of that Widow. But you also got to be on the point. So, big props to to Dynasty there for being on that Widow has helped Hello Muda secure that win.
I gotta say, occasionally you did see Fat Fingers really coming in and taking out the Widow right off the bat, and when they did, they just dominated the game. And especially Choppy Gamer. Choppy Gamer had at least with most of his Dragon Blades, he got 2 kills. A lot of them he got 3 kills. So he was really holding it together for his team. So I'm looking forward to seeing him do the same thing in this next game.
Yeah, that Winston was a problem though for the rest of the team. I mean, Choppy Gamer was doing a lot of work on the back line of Hellamutta, but even if you're getting 3 kills, the rest of your team isn't able to reinforce. I mean, a Genji, everyone knows needs healing, so without the rest of the team, won't be able to get that.
It looks like we did get the other team into this game. The team that we're going to be seeing up next is going to be One Hit Kill. We are going to be going to Lijiang Tower, and as you see, after that we'll have Dorado, Horizon, and Eichenwald. So Lijiang Tower, I'm not sure what's the map for Doomfist. I think maybe Control seems maybe it's more of Doomfist's kind of map. You know, you kind of have a better spot to place your Meteor Strike, you know, because everyone's pretty much centralized around one stationary point. We only saw Doomfist for a little bit, and like right when when TLMO was playing it, he got a rocket punch right onto cement into the wall. I was like, okay, that's a good start right there. He had that Meteor Strike, but really got nothing out of it, and immediately switched right back to Soldier.
But you have to say though, he was in Numbani at home, and they won. So there you go, home field advantage for Doomfist.
That's true. They did win.
I feel like you had to go back to what is natural. Doomfist still isn't in the meta. Still, a lot of people are still learning him, and the consistent DPS of Soldier is sometimes just the way to go for a lot of classes. I feel like Soldier can just put out the damage consistently, whereas Doomfist is slightly more.
Exactly, like it's just like a thing with like people like playing Genji. Like Genji can do a lot more than Soldier, but the thing is, Soldier is like a safer pick. Is one of the things with that, because like, you know, pretty much most of the time, like a hit scan, except for like McCree. I mean, I guess like let me rephrase that. So like, you know, hit scan, you have like a you know your shots are gonna hit, but like projectile, you know, there's you can't aim it as well, which is one issue with like projectile. That's why Junkrat's not like a big pick, is because like projectiles, you know, are they're not as easy to aim. But like Genji has a lot of mechanics to him that, you know, sometimes like Soldier is that safer pick. I mean, they're two different kind of heroes, but that's why you know you could go with McCree instead of Soldier. You have higher damage potential with McCree, because of but you got to be very accurate. That's why you see a Soldier more often, because he's a safe pick, and yeah, he does have consistent damage. So I think, you know, once people get the hang of Doomfist, like people did with Genji or even McCree, you know, then it could be a you know, you could see him more often. But I mean, he is still new, so some people not as used to him probably is what I'm gonna guess.
Yeah, I totally agree that control point would be really good for him. I mean, because you know where the other team is going to be setting up, and you know approximately what position they're going to be taking. So as a Doomfist, if you're, again, as about the flanks, getting the rocket punch into the wall and for that extra damage and that one shot kill. And so you can imagine, if as a attacking team trying to get back the point, if you're going onto that back line and finding the Widowmaker or finding the Lucio, that can completely change the game, because if that is the first step, then that's basically an instant 6v5 an advantage for your team as you're approaching. But yeah, Lijiang Tower going to be the second point here. So I mean, Chompy Gamer, we're expecting to see a lot more Genji play out of that, I'm sure. I mean, Genji excels when it's chaotic, right? And you know, just I guess two heroes that do that, you know, the Genji and the Widow. And we saw, you know, for them being able to be proficient with that Genji. So Tough and Dirty. I mean, in terms of that, I mean, what do you think they should be? Any changes they should be making moving into this next map style?
Winston as well, Genji, Widowmaker. Widowmaker can be somewhat of an iffy class on this map in particular, just because she doesn't have as many sight lines directly on the point. When she's on the point, or where she has a good sight line is in that front lob or in that front kind of area where she has a vast area to see. But on the point, she has to be either be on the point or just outside the point where she's near a cliff that she could get booped off of. But there's just not a lot of good sight lines on Lijiang Tower. So they might want to switch that up a little bit.
Yeah, definitely don't expect we'll see a Widow on too many of these points, except for maybe Night Market for that opening. It's really good to get that early positioning, and then if you can get all the way to the wall hacks, right? That is something really powerful, because especially on Night Market, the positioning of the enemy team, knowing where they are setting up is going to be really important, because there's so many places that you could be and dealing damage from afar. So especially as you're trying to approach. But this will be Fat Fingers versus One Hit Kill. One Hit Kill, haven't seen yet, but you'll be part of the round robin as we're moving forward. But yeah, getting the lobby set up. Tough and Dare, what is your favorite?
Ladies and gentlemen, if there's anybody in the chat who knows somebody on these teams or has somebody they're hyping up, hype up their name, type their chat name in the chat. Let us know who you want us to take a look at.
Ooh, there you go. That is real fan interaction right there. I mean, if they're popular, then we should be watching them. You know what I mean? You got to give the people what they want. So, but yeah, after that, it's going to be, after Lijiang Tower is going to be Dorado, followed by Horizon Luna Colony. Have you gotten to play much to that Horizon Luna Colony, Tough?
It's really spacious is the thing. There's so much space, so many sight lines. So it does a lot of good for a lot of hit scan characters. Classes like Genji and classes like I guess Doomfist in a way, who thrive more in a compact area with a lot of confusion going on. They tend to do less better in those big wide open spaces where they can just get shot down very quickly and they don't have a lot of places to hide. So one thing I gotta say though is I do wish the zero gravity point. I do wish one of those was like specifically part of the map instead of outside the map on the side.
Yeah, it'll be interesting, especially as the summer games are coming back. We saw that announcement with the Lucio Ball being competitive. Could you imagine actually Lucio Ball with low gravity? That would be both super fun and also so frustrating as well. We'll definitely see some custom games as that is happening. But guys, we're going to be going into game here. We have Team Fat Fingers, I believe on the blue side. We'll verify once we get into game, and Team One Hit Kill on the red.
Now, I do got to say something really quick here. What is Lucio Ball? I've never heard of that one.
Lucio Ball, I believe that is the basically Rocket League, but except you use a Lucio. So they had it in the Summer Games last year when pretty much almost right after the game came out. Actually, I guess it was a month or so into it. Basically, you have this arena, you have two goals, and everyone's Lucio, and you're just booping this big ball into the other person's goal. And it's actually really fun, but also pretty hard if you're bad at Lucio like myself.
Oh man, that sounds so awesome.
Speaking of Lucio, segue, we have on both teams. I mean, he's become such a staple for dive, and just because you're expecting your teams to be going straight at each other and getting that AoE healing is a lot more efficient than a single target healer as well. But we do see Pharmacy coming out from One Hit Kill, and One Hit Kill is starting to work their way from the back of the point. We'll see how it plays out.
Fat Fingers got to the point very quickly here. Already going to take out Scourge on the point, so they might be able to come in here and clean up with that, but Choppy Gamers go down, and MK goes down. Winy's doing a fantastic job on the pair there. Going to clean up Fat Fingers. Cement's the only one left, and she gets taken down fairly quickly, and that's going to mean that One Hit Kill finally takes that point. First point, they're going to go ahead and set up in their defensive position.
Is this the caster curse where declared ahead of time we're going to be watching Fat Finger and then, bringing them nothing but bad luck here as... but at the same time, they also kind of walked into that too, not taking the position on the point. And we see that, this in your ranked games too. If you're getting onto this particular part of the map, you have to get into the point and fight from there and fight out, because you're putting yourself in a disadvantage if you're not going to be actually fighting from the point.
Also gotta say, nobody took care of Fair. Fair was able to get on that point in very close range and just took out two people right off the bat. And that's gonna, that kind of cleanup really does cause your team a lot of damage. We do have a small fight coming in from the background here. Fat Finger's trying to make their way in with their Reinhardt. Reinhardt going for a charge, doesn't quite get the diva, but that's when Fair comes in with her rocket barrage. getting 3 kills. God, that's gonna kill Fat Fingers. Push right there, and Lucio doesn't even make it out alive. Once again, one hit wonder able to hold that point, and they're up to 50% already.
Oh man, that was the only ultimate up, but that's the only ultimate they needed. Wine on the backside. Fat Fingers is like, hey, why are you guys letting us on the point? And then instantly die because of the rocket barrage behind them. Yeah, that's why. But right now, only the Lucio ultimate going to be ready to go as everyone else is floating at around 50%. So Fat Fingers going to try the same approach again. And they're just going to keep taking so much damage from these rockets as they're working their way around the shield. And I mean, Reinhardt here is good if your team is moving in, but they're just not moving in as quickly as they really should be.
Gotta say, on one hit wonder, Grimlock is probably the ballsiest Lucio I've ever seen. He literally jumped in between all 6 of them and just started doing as much damage as he could to distract them from Wine doing the most of the damage from above. And so with Lucio, with Wine and with Grimlock really just coming in there, 1 distraction, 1 damage, they're getting the kills they need. And ooh, crazy headshot from Scourge. You can take out Soldier right off the bat. Another push is going to be distracted here for Fat Fingers. They're going to try coming around the side now. Rocket Barrage comes in, takes out Lucio, almost gets Aziz as well. I really feel like they aren't taking care of this Pharah with Reinhardt on the point. It's not going to be enough.
Yeah, that's so tough. I mean, you only really have, I mean, if you're looking at this composition here, the Soldier able to put the damage down onto the Pharah. I mean, you need that Discord orb on her, and for the whole team to kind of wait to take her down before even trying to move in, but they weren't doing it. And we saw even the Soldier there on the Choppy Gamer on the team Fat Finger just not being patient and waiting for the rest of the team. Maybe they had known that the game was pretty much over and strategizing for the next map. But here we are on Night Market.
Now, I gotta say, I think Scourge is working out pretty well here for a team one hit wonder, one hit kill. When you see Hanzo in a game, it's usually a hit or miss, but in this case, he's doing a great job at getting those early picks that you kind of need to keep the game going.
Freudian slip or prediction will one hit wonder and one hit kill only take 1 map out of this. Then we'll see what happens. Maybe we can reverse the caster curse as we see the Pharah Mercy coming again from the side, team one hit kill.
Fairly quickly here, already on the point with her D.Va. She's going to come in here and block a lot of damage, but slowly but surely we do have Fat Fingers coming in from behind with a force. Going against the Reaper. Reaper has to get out of there very quickly. It looks like one hit. Fat Fingers may actually be able to take this point for the first time. They do take the point does open up, and they do have a quarter of it, but that's when the kills start coming in. Wine takes out Choppy. Grimlock takes out Cran. Cement does get a kill on Wine, though. Wine finally going down. That's going to mean the Pharah that we were talking about is as a loop, and Fat Fingers may have a chance to come back in on this point. Scourge already getting a dragon, a huge dragon onto the point. That's going to take out Anna, take out D.Va as well, and that's going to mean that one hit can finally get on the point and take it.
Oh man, they look so good there. Fat Finger, maybe even listening to the stream, despite it being on the 2-minute delay, but they got the, they knew that they had to move on to the point, and that's exactly what they did, but they weren't able to get the kills. One hit kill backed off, allowed them to come onto the point, and then you saw, I don't know if we were able to see it, but the Reaper went straight for the Widow in the back line. Meanwhile, the tanks were trying to push their way into the point, but the Widow's getting chunked out on the back, so when your DPS dies, there's no hope for you, even if you have position on the point, as the fight starts again.
Scourge's dragon arrow there once again doing just a ton of damage, and he got that up very quickly, but D.Va's gonna actually fly up into the air. I thought she was gonna pop her ult, but she was just flying around. Looks like Fat Fingers may have a chance on this point, but Pharah is coming in and cleaning up once again. Rocket Barrage comes out, does clean up the final kills, and that's gonna mean that one hit secures this point once more. Fat Fingers really can't find a way into the point.
Yeah, just in the same ways we saw the Widowmaker plague them on their attack. We're seeing now that the Pharah is really killing them here. They're just not focusing her down, but Cement bringing out the Widowmaker might be the answer here. As another ultimate from the Hanzo comes out and is going to be taking out the Ana, who's stuck in the middle. Again, it's about these supports getting picked off early, and it just keeps hampering their attack.
Once again, Fat Fingers is really going to try to hold back just a little bit here, but Reinhardt's going to slowly push it on the point. Hammers down, does get tripled, but nobody there's to clean it up. D.Va finally coming down the point, going to try to use her ult, does get, like a 4 kill, well played with that hammer down. It really did clean up the point. That means Fat Fingers can finally come in and try to take this we do have Shay, I believe her name is, Shay, still on the point as D.Va, trying to contest, but she is asleep, gonna get taken down here fairly quickly with the whole team there, getting into her squishy form, and that's gonna be the point, possibly to Fat Fingers, possibly I say, because Lucio is coming on the point, along with Mercy, and actually One Hit Wonder is coming back in a big way.
Already up to 99% here. They're just trying to get onto the point. That ultimate combination from the tanks here, the Earth Shatter into the self-destruct, cleared everyone out, but the Lucio, they just can't even get him. Is that Toby from Lunatic High? But here comes the Dragon Blade coming out from Choppy Gamer, going to be able to clean it up. Wish they, probably hoping that they did not have to use that, but again, it's about getting to the point, and they have other ultimates that they can lean on. As now they have point with the Reinhardt, looking pretty good here for Fat Fingers, as the ultimate advantage is on their side as well, despite just taking the point.
I gotta say that hammer down along with the D.Va's ult really got them into that point, and they finally got it, even though one hit kept trickling in, just barely keeping it alive. But you know, Fat Fingers finally have the point. Let's see if they can defend it long enough to win the game. Hanzo's ult finally comes in, does do a lot of damage, but doesn't quite get the kills that they need. However, One Hit Wonder is coming in a big way. Mercy still alive on the point. Looks like Choppy's gonna go down, Cran's gonna go down. We finally actually had Wine switch off from Pharah to Genji, so that's going to be an interesting switch. But we have Reinhardt coming down with the hammer down. Unfortunately, he gets taken down immediately, and nobody's going to be able to pick up on that. One-hit kill coming in a big way. Dragon Blade coming out, taking out D.Va, and taking out Ana, and taking out Widowmaker, and that's going to be the point. I don't think Fat Fingers can come back from this.
Man, the dash resets are going crazy today for whoever's on the Team Red. Wine getting the triple kill in those dash resets, but now everyone is going to be coming back, but right into the ultimate from the Reaper, so he's able to only take out Choppy Gamer here as they're trying to make overtime go down. Ultimate comes out from the D.Va. Fat Fingers trying to hold position here, but they just can't keep their tanks alive, as only Aziz and Discotheque here. We do see the Widowmaker just trying to the point. That's not where you want to be as the Widow, but it is desperate times. Desperate times call for desperate measures. As now everyone's starting to trickle back on, but the Dragon Blade does come out here for Choppy Gamer, but he's going to be going right into the self-destruct, and that's going to be overtime ticking down. One-hit kill, not the one-hit wonder, taking 2 maps off of this best of 5. One more map to win it.
Wow. I gotta say though, I gotta give it to Fat Fingers. When they took that point at the 99% mark, I was hyped. That was very exciting to see. Unfortunately, they just couldn't hold it to win the game.
Yeah, definitely agreed with the Widowmaker pick to work their way in and deal with the Pharah, but after they switched off the Pharah, I mean, you need someone to be able to also contest up close and personal too, so maybe at that point, yeah, bring out the Doomfist, bring out someone who can brawl. I mean, you can't, with all the shields in this dive meta happening between, you know, the Winston or, you know, just denial of projectiles with the defense matrix from a D.Va, you want to be up close, and you want to have damage that can land consistently.
The points finally open once again. We do have Fat Fingers coming in from the top here, trying to get a little bit of a height advantage. Winston hops in, going for the Lucio if he can, but Genji falls back fairly quickly here. No kills just yet, but Fat Fingers kind of dominantly trying to go on this point if they can. Genji hopping in, trying to do a little bit of damage, but D.Va's finally going to come in and take this point with her team. Fat Fingers is finally making that push, finally getting the damage they need to push one-hit kill back. They might possibly take this point, even though one-hit kill is right in front of them. They might be able to contest it just barely, but the point's already been taken.
Yeah, there's a key pick on the back line. The cement on that Tracer took out the Mercy, and that was a huge part of it. Again, denying one healer means your healing is halved, right? And that means that you can't play as aggressively as you would like, because you can't keep those keep them alive. And the defensive matrix catches the Dragon Strike there, so that's what I'm talking about. You want to get up close and personal there. Aziz with a great denial there before losing the mech, as Wine pops the ultimate.
Wine popping the ultimate, getting a couple kills here, and a couple kills on Choppy as well. That's going to secure the point very effectively here. In fact, we only have Tracer on the point. Cement's the only one left, but she's going to get taken down here, especially with a Winston on her backside, and that's going to be the point finally to one-hit kill.
Man, that was pretty crazy. I mean, despite not having the Dragon Strike come out from the Hanzo, that ultimate, they were still able to win that. I mean, it was about, again, their ability to get in and brawl and Scourge. We do see, if you look at his bow, that is a golden bow. So, you know, calling out the Hanzo main, definitely not as a meme here, because he's doing quite well. The ultimate
Breakdown.
coming out here for Choppy Gamer.
Breakdown finally coming in on the point. Fatfinger's trying to do a little bit of damage, trying to go in, possibly take. Oh, cleaning up with the Dragon Blade from Choppy Gamer. And as you do, just like we saw in last game, Choppy Gamer really doing a lot of work. Diva tries to come in and do an offensive ult on the point, but it's not going to be enough. She's going to have to get out of there very quickly because she's taking a lot of damage, but she might just be able to hold this point for her team. Gets out, taken out of her mech, put in her squishy body, but that's when her team comes back. Grimlock and Winston both on the point. Fatfingers need to take this point and quickly if they want to do anything, but that's when the res comes out here from One Hit Kill. Doing a great job of really just stalling this point and keeping the time ticking.
Yeah, I mean, they're going to be, if you look at the progress bar, it's been the same for the past 30 seconds here, as Fatfinger is able to, not even able to make any progress on here, and it went from 40 all the way up to 60%, as the fight is still going on. That's going to be the ultimate coming out for Fatfingers, that Primal Rage, just trying to boot them off the point so they can just get the damage down. And Choppy Gamer, both Dragon Blades coming out, and they're just going to be ultimates all around here. But no, the Lucio gets killed on the side of Fatfinger before he can come out, so it looks like they're going to be able to hold this point, and Aziz is the only one left.
A One Hit Kill just doing a great job of holding that defense there. As you can see, with their Wine is doing, like, you know, just a fantastic job with his Dragon Blade. You saw him on the Pharah, and you see him on the you see him on the Genji, and it's really safe to say that he's doing, you know, just a great job defending these points, keeping the kills coming, and really pulling out those, you know, those clutch ults.
Oh no! Why so BM can't even let the Lucio MK1 even drop the beat? Let the man drop the beat. Come on.
We got the play of the game coming in from Wine. As you can see, as you expected it, man, with those huge Dragon Blades. Here he is taking out Diva out of her mech. Gonna go in for the Dragon Blade, take out that squishy body. Going in for the Ana, takes out the Ana as well. Going in for who is this? The other Genji. Choppy goes down and then gets out there as quickly as he can because he's fighting a Winston. But well played there. The Dragon Blades in this game were insanely good, I gotta say.
Yeah, I mean, they look so good. And also Wine switching from the, you know, playing the Pharah on those first two maps and then switching to the Genji, definitely DPS prowess there and would be my pick for MVP. But man, that was pretty crazy. We saw the same problems though. Plague, Team Fatfinger, Tough on Dirt. What do you think? I mean, do you think they're going to make the adjustments and kind of understand the changes they need to make?
Well, I do got to say they did make some adjustments. So we did see Cement switch to the Widowmaker when they noticed they were being taken down by Pharah. But when we saw One Hit Kill actually adjust to that as well, they switched their Pharah to a Genji. Fatfingers weren't able to make that other switch in time to really control the game. And so we really have to see Fatfinger really adapt just a little bit quicker. Once they notice that somebody switched, they need to switch back to what they're more comfortable with instead of sticking to a Widowmaker who may not be, you know, the best player on that map.
It looks like they're not all quite engaging on the same part of the team. We do see from their tanks, though, some good coordination there. Again, on Night Market, that Air Shatter into the self-destruct was really good. That opened them up. But then after that, they're just kind of on the point and without purpose there. And that's why comms are so important. And especially in Overwatch, if you're down one player, or if you're one player that's not really staying with the team, it hurts you so much more than in a lot of other esports titles. I mean, you think about like if someone's really fed in, let's say, League of Legends or Dota or you know, those kind of games where you can just scale and snowball. Overwatch is not one of those games, and you can work up to the point of you having an ultimate. But yeah, it really takes the coordination of the team more so than a lot of other games. So, and that's what we're seeing here.
Yeah, I gotta give some big props there to Wine for you know, playing not only excellent on Pharah but making that switch to Genji, and it literally was no different because he was getting all the kills just like he was when he was on Pharah with those cleanups, and occasional early picks coming from the Hanzo there, and excellent job by Wine. I mean, unfortunate for Fatfingers, you know, to go down again, you know, as like the team that we were kind of following this whole time, but they are going to be going up against Dat Orange Crush coming up next, and I actually wrote it wrong in here, so I'll be sure to update that there.
Yeah, first time I read that, I missed the R in Crush.
I just did that right now.
Maybe
So just
that was my interpretation.
Yeah, just want to give a heads up on the other side, on the rest of the bracket. So a One Hit Kill actually won their first game before against Omnic Union, and the team Dat Orange Crush also beat Omnic Union in their last game. So let's see. And then we haven't really had any other games yet with that. So there's those. I think that's 4 games right there that have been played. So right now we have Halamura and One Hit Kill being in the head of the standings with 0 losses yet, while Fat Fingers and Omnic Union, which we haven't seen Omnic Union yet, they are both winless, and Dead Orange Crush is 1-1 right now. So Dead Orange Crush is still not out of it, and technically neither is Fat Fingers or Omnic Union. They both, well, I guess the next game will tell us who will be definitely out of it after this. But we will be seeing
Now,
Dorado.
I gotta say,
Go ahead.
now I gotta say, as far as Fat Fingers go, I do want to see them bounce back from these 2 losses. A lot of these games can be won purely with morale. So if one team's already won a game and then one team's lost a game, the morale is completely different for both teams, and you can actually see that play off within the match. And so I'm hoping Fat Fingers can come back from this and say, hey, look, we lost these 2 games, but we still want to put 100% into this next one.
It sure looks like we're going to be launching in the game out here on Dorado Escort. Dude, I actually love this map. This is one of my favorite maps. Maybe it's the music to get me in the mood as we're loading up into the game, but I mean, Escort is it's all about the point, right? I mean, you have to keep pushing the payload the entire time, and it's such a dynamic game because it's even more so than control points, right? Because well, I know it's 2CP is everyone's favorite map type anyways, but it's up to the defensive teams to stall and make that point, right? Where are they going to be taking the stand? Where are they going to be putting the defense down in order to try to stop them? And there's a lot of different places that you can make that happen. And that's where you're going to see where teams get creative.
With these cart maps, you really notice that there's a lot of wall areas, and these walls are where people are going to hold the most. So you're going to see the first hold is usually up this top wall at the very first point, where players will usually play at this top wall and then kind of rotate down into the alleyway sort of here. And so notice the walls in this game, and notice how they help the defensive team and how they use them to control the offensive team.
Yeah, we're going to see still no Doomfist. Guys, come on. I want my Doomfist, and I want it now.
I got to say something
we'll have
about
to be a little
Doomfist.
impatient. Yeah, go ahead.
Doomfist, I've noticed that Blizzard needs to fix immediately is that he doesn't have a dance. There's no dancing for Doomfist.
What? Are you kidding me? Is he just all evil and no dance?
Yeah, I checked it out. I was like, yo, what's his dance? And I didn't. He doesn't have one. No dance emote, man.
What would he even do? He would like have to handstand. Maybe he could like handstand and then like launch himself into the air, out of vision.
Yeah, handstand with
That'd
one
be
hand.
cool.
That would be awesome. Oh, we finally have Crush coming in here on the point, doing a great job of pushing it in here. Fat Finger's still holding above. They're actually getting a little aggressive here, coming down here with their whole team. Lucio on the point, as well as Choppy on the point, trying to push in, but they're going to have Yoda coming in, trying to do a lot of damage with his Winston. And Winston, you know, man, he's going to come in there and just clean up on those small guys, actually taking the fight all the way into the back here. Fat Fingers is looking a little disoriented because now they're very far back. Crush is doing a great job of just pushing this car forward. Yoda taking out a ton of the team there with those squishy bodies. His electricity rod just doing work.
Yeah, you look at that fight, and it was a little confusing to see who was on attack and defense because that orange Crush was so far down the lane. I mean, you couldn't. It was really hard to tell. Like, whoa, wait, who is actually fighting what? But now we already see one fight, 1 point.
Just a little too aggressive there, and that might have cost him because Yoda came in here and just cleaned up on the point. But we do have them coming back in a big way with this defense, trying to do a lot of damage, but slowly one by one getting taken down. Electro taking down the Winston, Domino taking down Aziz, Domino coming in, Diamond, I'm sorry, coming in with the Genji Blade, taking out Anna, taking out Cement, taking out Choppy. Oh man, that's gonna be a cleanup right there, and that's gonna be the first point to Team Crush.
Going to be the first point and likely play the game as well, unless he gets a quadra kill there. Something about Team Fat Fingers and getting triple killed by Genjis or Pharahs by their carries. So I'm going to see they did come back for that second hold there, so it was delaying a little bit more because they were going down and blazing the trail here and trying to set a time that would be practically unbeatable. We're going to see where Fat Fingers, again, so here it's about where Fat Fingers decides to set up here. And they can't even maintain the upper ground because both the Genji and the Winston are going to be coming on the upper ground. Yoda and Diamond together, just pushing them back. And you can look, this is the D.Va on her own on the cart. What can you do as Team Fatfinger?
As well, Lucio gets taken down. That's a support gone for Team Fatfingers, and we really have Crush just rolling through on the point. The supports are going down very quickly. I gotta say, this combo of Yoda and Diamond is just cutting through exactly who they need to cut through. So we do have Fatfingers coming in on the point once again. Aziz going down fairly quickly here. Choppy coming in, trying to do an ult, but immediately gonna get basically negated by that Lucio. He's not gonna get a ton of damage. He does get taken down there by the Winston, and slowly but surely, Crush is just gonna continue pushing this cart.
Yeah, and you look at where MKI 99, I'm not sure it's the one or I, where he's positioning, right? You want that Winston to be on the front line to be contesting the point. Where is he? On the back line, because everyone is playing so aggressively here. And you see starting Yoda going in, he gets a sleep dart there, but gets woken up right away. And that ultimate is going to be going right onto that Lucio, getting stuck there. And here comes the reinforcements here from Team Fatfinger, might be able to hold.
Might be able to hold. Still got a Winston on the point. I'm surprised MK is still alive. He's been doing a ton of damage. Popped his own ult, but finally Crush is cleaning up here. And it looks like they're finally going to take this second point. They're doing a really nice roll here, I got to say. Fatfingers really need to defend on this last point if they want to keep this game going.
Yeah, you know what would be really good to defend here? That would be Doomfist. I'm just desperate at this point. I'm practically begging for it. But we're going to see the tanks. We're going to see where the Winston decides to post up here. Reinhardt plays quite well because, again, you have to go around this 90-degree corner. You can play so many angles of that, as now you want to make space for the McCree, who's on the upper ground, gets chased off here, but the team is just not peeling for him. Those tanks just not able to stay near him. You need a D.Va or someone to stand by him, to babysit him so he can actually get some shots off. But when your Winston is jumping onto the back line, there's just very little you can do with no self-healing or even just the flashbang. As now, looks like that Orange Crush getting those kills very slowly here. Just have to deal with the Tracer before they can push around the corner.
Choppy could come in here and try to stall the point as well with Samantha. Both those guys are very hard to kill just because they're so hard to touch. But Winston, his gun is an automatic hit, so he takes his time and does his damage. Slowly but surely, Yoda, I gotta say, is one of the guys to watch on this map because he is just coming in and cleaning up.
Oh, but here comes the Graviton Surge. This might be the wombo combo they need. As now they put that, oh my goodness, you put down the Graviton Surge and actually in return you die yourself, but the sound barrier does come out here and they have a lot of extra health to work with, but still it doesn't matter. Diamond's going to cut through that Ana health pool as here that Orange Crush able to get the damage together, and that Graviton Surge was just put down without any kind of coordination.
MK99 finally coming in with that primal rage. Good try to push everybody on the point if he can. Going for a kill on Diamond, especially. Diamond doing a lot of work, but he's gonna get back into his regular monkey form. And if he's the only one on this cart that's not gonna be able to hold it, does get taken down. That cart's gonna get moving again, but Choppy's gonna come in and stop it as best he can. Fatfingers is doing a great job of just barely staying on the cart, but it's always enough. They finally got the reinforcements they need coming in here. But Ghost gets a nice res on Yoda. Yoda is an essential character, like we said before, so that single man res just might be worth it.
Yeah, that was pretty much like resing him in, like him spawning and then jumping to the backline again, because he showed up exactly where Team Fatfinger did not want him to be, and that was on the backline, that was on the support, so they're just completely distracted. And despite Choppy's best interests, his best desires, his chopping is not enough.
And Diamond coming together, Dragon Blade coming out, but Choppy's gonna come out with his own Dragon Blade, but that's when the beat is broken down. Lucio doing a great job of really just keeping these Dragon Blades from Choppy at bay. Defense, Fatfinger's trying to hold on for dear life, but once again, Crush has been able to push this cart just barely. They have all the time in the world, though. It's 2 minutes still on the clock.
Man, Yoda just staying alive for so long. I mean, how many times have you seen him slept and then completely woken up? The team coordination again from Fatfingers, not quite there. Those comms not as alive as now. We see the Primal Rage though coming out from Fatfinger, so we're gonna see how much that Orange Crush can keep it together. Another self-destruct coming out. They're gonna be clearing the point just momentarily. Aziz going to be able to get that back, but then that 600 health pool and the armor goes down in an instant as they're all focusing down onto that D.Va, and the kill feed, oh my goodness, completely full. That Orange Crush taking the first point.
Well played by Crush. I gotta say though, at the very end of Fatfingers, even though a lot of them were dropping like flies, at the same time they always had somebody on the cart. Somebody was always surviving, and that was just enough to stall the point. Unfortunately, they couldn't stall all the way, and Crush finally came in with that devastating final blow and took the final point.
Man, that was pretty crazy. I mean, we saw some good play out of the supports there. I saw a lot of on a sleep darts onto Yoda as he was jumping in, but then they're just trying to burn him down the entire time. That there inevitably have been a shot that came out and didn't realize that he was going to be slept and woke him up right away. But Fat Fingers, I mean, based on their strengths, I mean, we've seen them play a really good the Winston and Choppy on the Genji. So how do you think they need to play around this for an escort map in order to try to keep the speed up as fast as what Dead Orange Crush did?
I'm wondering if Crush is going to have a different team composition because they got a really crazy team composition going on for the defense.
I want it so bad, man. Please.
If we got a Bastion.
Oh my God, are they going to do it?
Oh. Please.
Yeah.
Yes, it looks like they're going to do it. This is going to be awesome. I haven't cast these guys together like ever. I've never seen this team composition. It's going to be great. Going against this, I'll be honest, I have no clue what Fat Finger should do because I have no clue how this team is going to turn out.
Well, I mean, what's going to make or break this team composition on the side of Dead Orange Crush is how well they can protect the Bastion, right? And it's about the Bastion, putting the Bastion in a position where he can do a lot of damage, but then when they try to extend out, that's going to be the turrets hitting you from the Symmetra, or turret hitting you from the Torbjorn, and the shield you can't burn down because it keeps refreshing too fast from the Orisa. I mean, it's about this team composition is about frustrating and tilting the enemy team, and now Choppy coming out. I spotted the enemy, and it's not something that I like.
Yes, Choppy, this is probably the worst place for him to be because turrets will just, knock him out there. Already he's taking a ton of damage from that turret, but finally Team Fat Fingers is going to jump in and just get immediately behind that barrier, going for that Bastion, but Bastion is still alive and doing work. Takes out the Diva in a second. Cement there in the background probably going to get taken out here very quickly as well. They tried to get that jump in, but they just weren't able to get the kills, and now Crush is going to rotate into their actual first point defensive hold.
Man, what a tilter though. The Genji getting that reflect off, but Yoda's stopping just in time to avoid the damage in the final kill. It was down to a sliver of health before Choppy went down on the Genji, but still they're still able to push around the corner because Dead Orange Crush was not contesting the point. So cheeky first defense, but it looks like they're going to be taking, like you said, this is the real defensive point here, and everything else is just cheese. I mean, it's still cheese, but
yeah. I gotta say though, the barriers and turrets combo with the Bastion and with the God, I forget his name, the short guy, the turrets guy, man.
Torbjorn.
Torbjorn. These guys, this is a meta on quick play, so these guys might be able to pull it off if they do it just right.
Yeah, for sure, and it looks like Fat Finger is actually dealing with this really well. You saw the Genji with the kill feed recently got the shield generator, but he does go down unfortunately to the Symmetra here, and they're clearing the points, and this is one of the issues with this composition is that you clear some turrets, you clear some shields, but then there's more turrets and more shields somewhere else, and it just makes it so hard to push through here. And then you get right up into the face of a Symmetra. That's not going to be good enough, but here comes the opening though. Cement getting a double kill on the pulse bomb.
Nice, and that opening is going to be exactly what they needed. Bastion goes down, Mercy goes down, Orisa going down on the point, and finally Fat Fingers can come in here and clean up very well here. Choppy actually going to come in here and go with his Dragon Blade, but that's when Lucio comes in with his ult, popping it down. Bastion going in for the kills as well. Cement takes down the Torbjorn though, and Bastion's actually not going to get the kills that he was looking for in his tank form. Still has a shield and he's going to go into a minigun, but the point's going to be taken because nobody was there to touch it. Nice res coming in from Ghost though, but I don't know if it'll be enough because that point's already taken, and Fat Crush is gonna have to find a way to either fall back or hold this position, and it looks like they want to hold right here.
Yeah, Cement actually able to find a lot of key pulse bombs there earlier, getting that double kill, and now taking out that Bastion, all that sources of damage. So now we see Team Dead Orange Crush have to pull back, and they're going to be trying to push on the aggressive. They've been tired of sitting on their back foot this entire match, and they're ready to strike back.
I gotta say, man, I don't think that Team Crush actually trying to hold that very front position was a good thing. I think they should have gotten their team together and really controlled one area and decided this is where we're going to defend. Instead, it looked like they put together somewhat of a hosh-posh defense at the very second point, or at the very first point. And so that really, cost them time. Now they have to regroup and get back together, and the cart's going to get pushed.
Yeah, and you see, look at the ultimates coming up here. Choppy Gamer just getting his ultimate. Discotheque on the D.Va, almost close, very close to the self-destruct, and they will be able to really, I mean, they push through very quickly here. Choppy Gamer going to be getting a double kill. Both the Lucio and the McCree on the backside going to be jumping back and clearing the point. He's looking for more kills, but does not have to deal with it because they have the Winston dealt with on the back line. That's a one-man army on the front, and then versus one tank in the back.
Coming out from Crush, the minute they saw that their team was falling apart, they decided, you know what, we're switching back to what we know best. This second point's going to be taken, but they may be able to hold here because this is a completely different team now that we have Crush going in for a real defense.
And you see they want to keep the momentum going as he's going with a double res onto both of the DPS. They want to keep this momentum going as much as possible as they push into this next phase. They don't want to waste a moment.
Choppy and Winston coming in on the point, getting the kills that they need. The cart's still being pushed, guys. We need some sort of defense on that cart. But that's when Winston hops in, Yoda hops in, and says, you know what, you guys aren't getting any farther. Finally seeing Crush coming here with the defense. D.Va comes out with her ult, does take down Yoda, though. That's going to mean that they can continue, Fat Fingers can continue pushing. But we do see the res finally coming out from Crush, and that's going to mean that they're going to have the advantage here. We might see Fat Fingers still take this, but I don't know.
Yeah, Diamond popped the ultimate there that high noon, but it wasn't able to find anyone. We saw Choppy Gamer going in with the reflect, trying to zone him out, but he's going to lose his life to the flashbang there. And it looks like the attack here might fizzle out soon as they were losing all their DPS and the tanks are just dropping very quickly here for the side of Fat Fingers.
Of course, nobody was touching the point, so Lucio got a couple more seconds on it, but he's going to die and have to fall back with his team. Crush finally doing a great job of coming back together, holding that defense. Fat Fingers are going to have to find a new way in.
Yeah, 3 minutes there. They still have more time. They still have another minute 40 seconds before they can match the time. So they do have a little bit of a second here, and they do have that ultimate advantage now. So we're going to see how they decide to engage on here. Lucy ultimate's going to be very key as they're moving into this fight because it's about when you have to pop that, right? You want to make sure you're moving in without getting any picks, and then make sure everyone is alive and get the full value out of it. And this is what they really want, getting a pick already onto that McCree.
Winston coming in here with his ult, though, going to try to push back as many people as he can. Just cause as much confusion as he can on the point, but that's going to mean that Team Fat Fingers can come in here and do a little bit of damage. But already they're losing. Fat Fingers is going to lose the Lucio and going to lose their D.Va as well. They're going to have to and lose Choppy as well. No, the push is going to be canceled out here very quickly as they have to fall back and regroup. D.Va's the only one left on the point out of her mech, and she does get taken down very quickly.
Oh man, Choppy Gamer popping the ultimate, the Dragon Blade onto the backline, but oh man, I thought that was a triple res. Actually, only a double res right into the self-destruct. They will not be sent right back to the grave right away. But no, it is going to be the self-destruct going to be taking D.Va out of her mech as well. So again, just the lonely Lucio and the Tracer trying to stall on the point, but this is just not productive here from the side of Team Fat Fingers as the time slowly approaching what it took to Dad Orange Crush to be able to finish the map.
Oh man, the minute their momentum was stopped, they lost a lot of what they had going for them. So Fat Fingers need to find a new way in, and they need to find it fast. What I want to see is MK1, or MKI, I guess, and Choppy really come in and get the picks they need. They need to work together, as a team. And already Choppy's off on the side there. Winston's going in as well. They're coming in a little more coordinated now, possibly going to push this cart, but D.Va's on the cart, and she's going to hold it down for her team. Does get pushed off a little bit, but that's when the high noon comes out. Doesn't get any kills? Not quite. He actually gets taken down himself because that's when Lucio pops his ult to save the day for Fat Fingers. Fat Fingers doing a great job of staying on the point now, but at the same time, no kills are coming out for the defense. And so that's going to mean that Fat Fingers can't really get this push, and Yoda coming in, trying to take out, Choppy. Disco going to come in, and another ult is going to come out for the defense. With this defensive ult, it looks like they might hold this point fairly well.
Yeah, still an even trade right now. We see the ultimate economy pretty much balancing out here as the battle lines are really drawn quite well here, but the Pulse Bomb does find the other Tracer as both DPS fall for that Orange Crush, so they're going to be able to come in here. That Winston Tesla Cannon going to be able to jump in the back line. Choppy Gamer getting 2 kills and only 1 res back into the D.Va, can't even get back into her mech, and this might be the push that they need now. Fat Fingers just need to round 1 more corner.
Okay, already coming in here and trying to deny the defense from coming on the point, but immediately we have Genji coming in, Diamond coming in on the point, trying to do a little bit of damage if he can. Notice that Yoda's finally coming on the point. The defense is finally coming out and trying to do the best they can. Trying to get the D.Va on the point if they can. Primal Rage finally coming out. Choppy coming out as well with his Genji, so it gets to take out Diamond and get to take out Ghost on the point, but that's when the D.Va mech comes in, nice defensive push, but that's Lucio negates it completely.
We just see the Primal Rage on here from the side of Team Dead Orange Crush, trying to buy him some more time, but MKI going to be finding 2 kills here, and now they are into overtime though, so as much as they can delay this as possible, that is going to be really good for them, but could they possibly flip it to win it? We'll have to see.
Doing a great job of really staying alive. I've noticed that they're not trickling in right now, even though it's overtime. They should be trickling in one by one, but as you can see, they're staying together, and they're not dying as quickly as you'd think they would. So that's really helping out their team. D.Va popping her ult, but immediately Crush gets behind the cart and negates it completely. So it's anyone's game so far. We haven't seen any huge picks just yet, but that's when Diamond comes in with his Dragon Blade, gonna come in with as much damage as he can. Doesn't quite find the kills he needs though. Nobody's dying somehow. MK9 finally taking D.Va out of her mech. That's when Crush gets their huge boost from Lucio.
Oh my goodness, just ultimates all around. Choppy Gamer with another Dragon Blade, even though he got one at this position of the cart, and he does go down, but Aziz on the upper ground, waiting for that ultimate, going to be coming in here, going to get that double res there, and right into
nice
the sound barrier, as well as this fight just continues to go. I mean, we could just even take a second to breathe here. Yoda tries to try to jump on the backline as MKI does go down.
Gotta say, I'm amazed that Fat Fingers are still on this point so directly, but as I said that Choppy and Lucio now the only ones left on the point. They may get taken out very quickly. Cement here on the point does try to go in, but unfortunately Diamond's gonna take out Choppy. D.Va's gonna take out the Lucio, and it looks like once and for all Crush has finally controlled that point.
Oh man, they had such a good push, such good momentum on that last push there, but then again, it's about, look, when you're expending ultimates, it is about just getting the value out of it. It's about either not losing or it's about winning, but they did not do either. Or they didn't win. They didn't win off those ultimates. They didn't get the kills off those ultimates, and ultimately it was just unfortunate that they weren't able to do that. The positioning of Dat Orange Crush, once they actually took the game a little bit more seriously, was just so good around this last point.
Do have Yoda coming in here with the play of the game though. Gets the D.Va immediately going for Choppy as well. Does take out Choppy, does take out D.Va's soft body too. That's gonna be like I think that was a quadruple kill almost, but very well done there by Team Crush.
Yeah, Team Orange, that Orange Crush, man. Dude, I want some Surge right now. Remember that soda? It was like, it's like Mountain Dew, but it was just more hardcore.
Surge was amazing. I actually was on the train one time, and some guy was like, "Yo, I got this can of Surge I found." And so we grabbed some cups and had some Surge. It was actually not.
Did you know this guy?
No, I didn't know this guy.
Oh my god,
he was a really cool guy. Like, we were traveling back up to Chicago, and like on the train, and just like this, I met him in the Champaign area, and he had a can of Surge. It was like, he was like, "Dude, you want some of this?" So like we got some cups, and like he cracked it open.
Yeah, I'm just glad you're still alive, because that sounds a little bit sketchy, but just a kind soul. If someone's sharing the Surge, then I mean that'd be a lot of effort, right? You have to go find Surge, and then you have to like possibly poison it or something. That'd be pretty bad, but only bros drink Surge. Man, dude, I think it is a cast curse. Fat Fingers losing one more round, so they're 0-3 right now, and I think by the math they are out of this, right?
Yeah, technically they would be out of this. Next up, they're going against Omnic Union. And Omnic Union is possibly out of this as well. I mean, they could still have something come up, and then we have like some weird tiebreaker. But most of the time it doesn't work out where it's like that. Most of the time it's one team like just wins it all, like doesn't lose a map at all. But who knows? I mean, we haven't the other side of the bracket. We could see something come out, from Halamuda and One Hit Kill, or even Dead Orange Crush maybe takes out one of the teams.
I mean, look, man, all I'm here for is the Doomfist. So if anybody
where's Doomfist?
Yeah, I'm so tempted to type in the chat, but especially as we might see some more fun games coming out of here. It's kind of crazy. The meta has kind of reached a point where the Kree is like exciting, right?
Yeah.
That's where the state of the game is right now. So I really hope people can figure out Doomfist pretty quickly, because that's just going to mix it up even more so than it is now.
Yeah.
But next map going to be that Horizon Loser Colony. That's where
that's probably
where
people,
all the losers are banned.
People probably think that's why I chose it. because someone's calling me a sadist for putting Horizon in the pool. I
Dude,
just
but
want
this
I want
is-
to see
this-
I want to see
oh, no.
Doomfist on Horizon. Okay, I mean, you got to think about it. What are his names called? What are his abilities called? He has Meteor Strike, Rocket Punch. I mean, it sounds really fitting to have him on a space map, just based off
Seismic
his names.
Slam.
Seismic Slam. Yeah.
He's gonna change the orbit of this lunar colony of the moon with this fist. But yeah. Anyways, that sounds weird. But yeah, I mean, maybe even I would love to talk through his abilities, but I mean, kind of want to save it for when someone actually picks it into the game. But Horizon Lunar Colony does bring out a completely different meta, though. I mean, in terms of seeing it both on Apex as well as the Overwatch World Cup group stages, which the next one's going to be down in Santa Monica in a week.
Ooh.
Actually, no, Katowice in Poland on this weekend. But yeah, I mean, definitely you're going to see a lot more Widow. You're going to see definitely McCree as well, because it's about the sightlines on this map and being able to use to get those early picks before moving in. And so it's about kind of patience and a little bit more of the chess game than the chaotic fights we normally see on like Control Point.
Same time, there's going to be some classes that you're not going to see. So I don't think we're going to see as much Genji when it comes to Lunar Economy. Or Loser. Should we call it Loser Colony? But I don't think we're going to see a lot of Genji. Are there any other classes that you think don't quite work with a Lunar Colony?
Lunar Colony, Symmetra. I don't know. It's such a weird. I mean, it could work because on the defense, especially. But it could very confidently say Symmetra on attack would be not optimal for Horizon Loser Colony. I'm actually gonna. I know I'm gonna like be out of this cast and then out of context, and I'm gonna call it Horizon Loser Colony, and they'd be like, "Dude, you know what it actually is, right?" But yeah, definitely not Symmetra, I would say, but and because I can imagine even Torbjorn being used quite well.
I gotta say that Torbjorn's turret just has such like long sight lines. It's crazy how strong it can be in these places where if nobody's taking care of that turret, it can just reach basically anywhere on the map, even in a map as expansive as this one. TF2, by the way.
Wait, sorry, I didn't catch that. What's that?
Did you ever play Team Fortress 2?
Dude, I did not actually. Sorry, I was distracted by this Roomba cleaning up the space under this telescope.
Is
but
it
yeah,
a
no,
Roomba or is it really a fidget spinner though? That's really
Oh my god.
because you can spin it
Cannot
with a Winston. You can spin it. So it's
Oh, man.
it's kind of a toss up on whether it's a
Fidget spinners in space is what we're saying.
yes fidget spinners in space.
Man, I will not be able to unsee it ever. Don't give me that. I don't want the Shuriken's fidget spinner. I want this vacuum cleaner fidget spinner.
I already have the
bobber.
Shuriken fidget spinner, but
You're gonna have to give some analysis then on the camera next time with your fidget spinner.
Yeah,
and we'll
yeah.
know that it was the real deal.
Spin it on my nose or something, right?
Exactly. That's a good challenge.
Chops off
for
like
sure.
a part of his nose.
Yeah. Well, back to this game as we are going to be having, what is that? Omnic Union on the defense right now, and looking like they're going to be doing a Torbrissa, just like we had last game. So that's going to be interesting.
Torbrissa? That sounds like that's unsettling for some reason. Torbrissa. It's like a very large Nordic woman. Torbrissa.
Well, it sounds like you're shipping them. Like I think they'd be a good couple.
Oh, that yeah. I mean, he's got a hammer, so, and anyways, before we go too deep into that hole, let's check out some men here on the Widowmaker. Going to be unfortunately finding that bubble here, so just trying to work on that shield, but just in time for the shield to get cut down. Orisa will have one to replenish, so it's going to have to try to find something else to shoot at.
Here we noticed that Fatfinger was at the high defense, but they really couldn't stop Omnic from going around the side. Omnic just said, I don't want to go into that fight, and so they just went around the side. But May doing a lot of work here, freezing up people and putting walls on the point. So Omnic is slowly but surely going to have to figure out exactly how they want to make this push.
Yeah, Fatfingers did come off the backside there, so they did go, like you said, they took a very creative route on this attack. and just have to deal with this Mei wall. So this is going to buy enough time, though, for the side of Omnic Union to be able to reinforce the Soldier already coming back.
Enough. Halffinger's finally going to take that point very decisively and very strong. In fact, we already have Genji with 100% ult, and he looks like he wants to pop it immediately.
Yeah, and the Torbrissa going to be switched off. We'd ship it, but they would not. Switching on to that Widowmaker. Faith not feeling it, despite having the name. You gotta, I mean, if you name yourself Faith, you gotta stick with whatever you start with, right? I mean, that's just bad luck. That's not commitment. He gets headshotted there by Cement here. What better Widow is Cement gonna be finding those double kills as already starting to cap the point.
We still have Choppy on the point with his ult, and there's gonna be a huge pause. We have a player dropping frame rates. Who is that going to be? It does look like we have Orisa getting taken out of the game, Gigabyte taken out of the game for just a little bit. So in the meantime of a pause, do you think that this may have been why that first point was taken so quickly?
Yeah, I mean, the Torbrissa was set up on a place where you could just completely run around and just not have to deal with it. So you're opting into kind of the 6v4. What you're hoping for, what Omnic Union was hoping for, was that they would be completely occupied by the fact that there is a shield and just this endless damage pouring out. But there's like, oh, actually, we'll just rotate around and just use the cover in order to get to the point. And that's exactly what they did.
At the same time, we did have Shadow with her ice wall coming in and trying to keep Fatfinger off the point. It wasn't quite enough, though, so they did get on the point there very quickly. But Shadow just caught a little bit of time. So I got to say, even though they made a little bit of mistake, rotating so far away from the point, they did come back just barely, but they still couldn't hold it.
It was cute. I mean, the Mei was cute, but
cute.
I mean, in terms of what she's going to be able to do. But again, it's a 4v6, and what we were talking about before, even if you have a 5v6 situation, that just tilts the favor so much to the other team. And it looks like we're going to be coming off that pause here as the ultimate's going to be coming off from Fatfinger, already going to be using their advantage here. They know that they have the momentum going up as MKI gets both the mech and the kill, and they're already pushing straight into the spawn here.
Oh yeah, they're pushing into the spawn. Gigabyte trying to get out as best he can on the Lucio, but with him and Faith, the only two people in there, Winston actually keeping people inside the spawn, and that's when the ult comes out from Shadow on the point. Gonna get the Diva and possibly take her out of her mech, along with the Mei as well, or along with Lucio as well. Lucio does go down, but somehow, some way, Omnic was able to come back, but then the res comes in for Fatfinger, doing a great job of coming back on the point, but the kills are just coming out once again from Omnic here. Faith doing a great job of getting the pickups.
That res completely wasted. We saw some men lining up the shot. Oh no, Faith lining up the shot onto the Diva before she's even to get back into her mech. And yeah, that's just going to be the defense still holding strong. Omnic Union, but they did give up 2 ticks in 5 minutes, 20 seconds still left to go.
Fatfinger to come in here, regroup, and just figure out exactly how they want to get in here. And with that initial push, I wouldn't be surprised if they take this point once again.
Yeah, they can just rush in here, and we saw Omnic Union just giving them so much respect here, as now the fight is already split. We see the Winston going onto the back line. Meanwhile, Caseman is stuck in the middle on that McCree, just trying to defend. It's really hard to choose targets when you're just stuck in the middle of the battle, but this Mei doing a lot of work as well. Shadow getting up there and getting them frozen and lining up. The team comms, you can tell they're working really well because everyone Shadow is freezing, they're getting killed. And now, here comes the stall here. Discotheque getting demacked, and now might be even get killed by this Mei, but looks like she's actually going to be retreating.
Yeah, Omnic almost getting a little cocky here as they move forward, trying to get just a little more time on the point here. Fatfinger's really trying to figure out exactly how they want to come in. They got to come into 4 ults, though, with their 1 from Choppy, so it's going to be interesting to see how they approach their point. Really trying to figure out exactly which way they want to come from.
Yeah, we'll see what they have to work with here. Choppy Gamer's the only one with the ultimate here, as it's going to be coming out from the side of Omnic Union, but they're going to be canceling that out because they have an ultimate of their own. Sound being dropped, Blizzard in the center, so they can't even cap here. Choppy does get a kill onto the Mercy, though, so no res going to be able to come out through onto this point here, but they just can't make their way through this. Mei wall doing so much work here. This pick proving very strong and going to be clearing the point. So Med getting the double kill with the pulse bomb, but just going to be rezzed in return.
Clutch. We actually have Lucio on the point, still trying to come in for Fatfinger. Winston trying to come in as well. I wouldn't say this is a good idea, but they're going to hop in on the point. Anyway, it's 3v6. Lucio getting taken down, but that's when the res comes out from in from Aziz. It's still 4 versus 6, but then Choppy comes in to even it up just a little bit. But Winston gets frozen, props his Primal Rage, but it's simply not going to be enough. He keeps getting frozen. Shadow finally getting that put into an Ice Form, but that's when D.Va pops in on the point and does the self-destruct. Getting 2 kills, very well done. Alternative D.Va coming in, getting 1 kill as well. Fatfinger's really doing a great job of getting on this point and really trying to contest it. It looks like Omnic may be falling back here. Mercy's the only one left alive on the point. She gets taken down. Wow. Wow. I gotta say, McCree got taken down as well, and D.Va just couldn't get there.
Yeah, McCree, I was surprised they held the point for as long as they did, because McCree was always in the middle of those fights, and you saw the adjustment for the side of Team Fatfinger. They're like, oh yeah, let's just kill the McCree, and then we lose all the damage. Even if you get frozen, you can't get killed by the damage of the rest of the team with the heals and the reinforcements that you'd be able to slowly take over time for Team Fatfinger. So in Tracer, that was going to be cement on that Tracer. Chased to the back line, found Caseman on the McCree on the opposing side, and took him out, and that's really what cascaded that last point.
Mm-hmm. I gotta say from Fatfinger, I was surprised to see that last push actually go through, because in the beginning there was just Lucio on the point, then Winston jumped in on the point, then Mercy came in behind him, and then Genji came to clean it up. And really, you know, they kind of fell in there one by one, but they grouped up so well together and stayed alive so well that in the end they were able to cap it, and that was surprising to me.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, so 3 minutes, that's a pretty good time. They took that first point, and despite having a little bit of trouble, they took a little 3 or 4 attacks in order to get that last point. I mean, still 3 minutes left to go. That's pretty good. So we'll see what they decide to do. Looks like Fatfinger also running the Torbrissa. We gotta get Zarya in there somehow. That's the squad. That's what I'll say. I'll leave it at that. Of like just super strong if you bring them together. Because if you think about it, right, you're jumping up and say you engage on that, right, and then you're getting past the shield. The rest of the team can't get damaged by. Only your flanker can get damaged behind the shield. And then you have a Zarya to provide the bubbles. That's just such good survivability there. But it looks like they're setting up in the same spot that they just completely ran by. So will Team Omnic Union just run by in the same way that Fatfingers did?
Now, to counter what you're saying just a little bit, as far as the shields and the turrets go, you do need the turrets. And so if that one first shield goes down, Zarya can't get a shield on that second turret. But, you know, like you said, Zarya is still good for keeping her teammates alive. So we'll have to see what's going on. Very quickly on the point, we see Omnic on the point super fast because Lucio going in for the damage. And already we see that Fatfinger was just unable to really kind of turn into that fight. And so they're going to probably lose this fairly quickly here. Already we have 2 people going down. Zach going down. DP's getting taken out from Mech. Shadow going down as well for the Winston. But just barely able to hold on here for Fatfinger.
Yeah, Team Fatfinger almost fell to the same trick that they used against Team Omnic Union there, but they are able to fall back onto the point and get repositioned as to the turrets. And again, Zarya keeping everyone alive, and finally now putting a turret in a spot that's actually a good idea for this map.
Rotated down to defending the point. Defending up top is a little more difficult simply because you're not actually on the point. And when the Omnic got there so quickly, they had to rotate back, but they finally stabilized, got it on the point. It looks like we have Omnic trying to come in from the left-hand side here. Gonna be going for the Symmetra, takes down Symmetra fairly quickly, and now they're gonna engage on the point.
Yeah, they're going to continue moving forward, getting to that pick, and unfortunately they lose their healer in that engage here, but they do move into a good position, but the ultimate comes out from the Turbine as well, which is going to be powering his turret, but that does go down as well. Rez comes through for Fatfinger, is going to be able to keep reinforced, but McCree and Tracer combo on the backside. Omnic Union going to be doing a lot of work here, but the Choppy Gamer coming out with the Tac Visor. Going to stabilize it here. Fatfinger again coming back after getting picked off in the beginning.
Choppy Gamer coming in with that cleanup was exactly what they needed to hold that defense there. And Omnic's gonna have to figure out a new way in, but they do have the ult economy here with Winston's ult and with McCree's ult. So it's gonna be interesting with these sight lines to see exactly how McCree wants to run this. Coming in here very quickly with that Lucio boost coming in from the left-hand side. Once again, going for the Mercy immediately. Mercy was a little out of position, and that's when Winston pops his ult going in on the point. Shadow just pushing everybody off, but the Graviton Surge comes in. D.Va's ult comes in as well. This might be a wipe. Oh, not quite. Able to stay alive. And Fatfinger is still defending though, so Omnic needs to find a way into this point.
Yeah, Team Omnic having a tough time working their way onto the point. They are getting the position, but they just can't, again, finalize on the kills, and they're not approaching at the same time. Caseman does get the Deadeye onto the DMEC Diva, so we'll have to see if they're able to really keep him off this point here as the coming back, the Tourbillon does fall despite having that Molten Core up, so it looks like they'll be able to finally take it. 1 minute left.
1 minute left, and already we do have Faith going in, trying to do a little bit of damage, but the first point is going to get capped, and Omnic is going to rotate onto the second point. And as you can see, Fatfinger's already on that top area. Aziz is going to fly back immediately because she had a Winston all up in her face. Symmetra just gets destroyed by Shadow, though, and is going to have to fall down. Well, Shadow get taken down on the point as well. Omnic, perfect trades being coming in from both teams, so we really aren't seeing any advantage so far.
And you see Sam Bam jump into the back line. We're seeing the same problems plague Omnic that usually Fatfingers does, is their tanks are just diving in way too deep. We saw the Winston jumping up, just trying to take advantage of the momentum to try to open something up. But at that point, just running into 4 or 5 people, you should just be backing at that point, wait for the rest of your team. The momentum is a really good idea, but you can really wait just a couple more seconds for the rest of your team there. And that's because that's really what will allow you to be able to, take a momentum push like that.
Figure out exactly how they want to come in now. Coming in from the top area, that Lucio speed boost is really giving them some damage, but Diva's going to jump in here immediately, get that nice orb on him, and that's when she's going to pop her ult. Very nice placement there, but everybody seems to find some safety. But very good job of breaking up that push.
Yeah, Pain going to be taking Diva out of the mech and taking her life as well, but just gets killed in return here, Faith. The Silvo res onto the Tourbillon. Looks like they're knowing that if they don't get the reinforcements they need, then they're going to be losing this point here, but I don't really agree that they think that there's that much pressure as he does pop this Primal Rage. But the double kill here coming through Caseman, this might be the opening that they need in order to get a lot more points on. Caseman finally get taken out, not before he takes 3 lives himself.
We do still have Omnic on the point, but there's not a whole lot of them, and Fatfinger's going to get that pause soon. It looks like somebody left the map.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's going to be the DC coming out from the defensive side here. A little bit of a tough moment. But yeah, I mean, we saw Omnic Union trying to move in very quickly. So this is the point about when you're doing those pushes that are immediately on 2CP, when you take point A and you're trying to push onto point B, it's not worth it to jump in as a tank on your own. I mean, even though then that's what they're bringing here. They have tanks with high mobility, and again, if you're going out with the rest of your team, then it's not really a momentum push. You're actually losing momentum because you're taking damage that's just free from the opposite team and delaying your push. And that's what we saw here with Omnic Union.
How this pause affects the game a little bit, because as we can see, Fatfinger only has, looks like Disco and possibly Chopper left on the point, while the Omnic actually has 4 people on the point now. They were just barely staying alive, but now they're able to stabilize, so they just might be able to take this point back. Can we get Doomfist, please? Says Musha.
that's a joke. We're joking in the chat here. But yeah. Oh, looks like we do have the Pie and Choppy going to be going possibly on the Doomfist. We'll see if he actually follows through on that. But yeah, while we're waiting here, just looking at the ultimate economy. Fatfingers again on the defense, Discotheque and Cranial Pain down in this moment. So it is a 3v5, right? And you have Zach on side of Omnic Union sitting with the res, so it could be a 6v3. So I mean, likely they're going to be talking on comms, thinking about, okay, when they come off the pause, how do they want to work it out here? 2 support ultimates very strong. How would you do it?
Let's see. 2 support ultimates. Well, because they have the res in their pocket, they may want to play, slightly more aggressive and really just go in and get the kills that they want to get. Not to worry about dying necessarily because they have that res. At the same time, with Lucio, they don't have to really worry about taking too much damage. So once again, they can just go all out basically on this point because they have so much defense there. Plus, looking on the side of team Fatfinger, they really don't have any ults there to counter these defensive ults, so they can kind of use these defensive ults aggressively just to rotate them in and possibly get the kills they need.
Yeah, for sure. But again, if you're looking at just how they're going to be coming out of spawn here too, it would be pretty tough. You two places to exit out of, right? It's again, it's very close to the spawn point, and that's kind of the trade-off, right, in this map design. So very luckily, they don't have a lot of places to exit on a from a defensive position because they're so close. I mean, you'll be able to anticipate where this respawning defensive team are going to be coming out from. But yeah, I mean, we're seeing now Fat Fingers coming together a little bit more, playing better around just getting focusing the same people. And the reason why we're able to say this is because you see them getting more picks, right? More focus coming out, more isolation of certain members, despite the Mei, right? Who's famous for her isolation as well. But yeah, so we'll see if Fat Fingers can come back here. It's going to be a little bit tough coming back 3 down, 3v5.
Mm-hmm. At the same time, looking at the ult economy once more, Zambam's got 97%, and with that ult, that's the type of ult that clears the board. So if she can pop that, and then the defensive ults, or if Lucio can pop his ult, it's going to be very hard for Fat Finger to push into that.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely. But have you seen much of the Overwatch World Cup recently?
Tell me about it. Tell me about it. What have you seen?
For sure. Yeah. I mean, it's kind of crazy how they did it this year. Again, if people are not familiar, this year's a little bit different. Before they had fans vote in the players. This year they had fans vote in. Actually, even before that, they had people play Overwatch, and they basically like, yeah, the people who played the most, the countries that played the most Overwatch will have a team. And the way they did that was, yeah, I think it was some amount of like hours played or some kind of like achievements overall. And so there are the top 32 countries drawn from that. Each of those, then you voted in committees, people who would pick the team, and then you had these representatives pick the teams as well. And pretty crazy how, I mean, like Overwatch in game when you're playing it, it feels global, right? Because there's so many different kinds of characters and heroes, right? Even especially with those coming from Numbani, right, and Doomfist coming out as well, and it just feels like a very global game, right? But even more so, what we saw was the talent pool globally as well is much better than people would have anticipated. We saw even Japan earn a lot of fans because there's a particular player at DPS called AKTM that was popping off on McCree. So you guys just search on YouTube AKTM highlight reel. Basically looked like aimbot Calvin, but just no one had heard of him before.
That's awesome.
And so he was just clicking headshots, and the crowd was going crazy. And and again, it just goes to show that with kind of game like this, and I guess they've done a lot of good jobs in terms of getting the marketing out. But people, so there's something about this game that people really like, and in terms of like the kind of possibility, and well as how it's transcending kind of languages and cultures as well. Because it's very simple rule sets, and it's just a very fun game that you can have fun even if you're not super good at it. So I'm excited to see the next stage in Katowice in Poland. I'm going to be, I think, Team Canada will be playing there. Of course, the Polish team as well. And then finally, the last stop will be of the group stages to qualify for the World Cup will be in Santa Monica in California next to Los Angeles. And the final's going to be at BlizzCon as well. So yeah, pretty cool. In terms of how they did that, trying to be as inclusive as possible. And we're going to see that a lot of new fans for Overwatch, and the viewership numbers are going through the roof for sure.
And I'm looking forward to it. Do you have any dates on that? When is BlizzCon, by the way?
Ooh, BlizzCon is, let's see. Let's look it up. It's in November. Let me go find that out real quick.
Because
yeah, it's yeah. Go ahead. Yeah.
Me and my girlfriend watch BlizzCon all the time, but we used to watch it for Hearthstone. So it's gonna be great to see it finally come back for Overwatch. I'm gonna force her to watch it for Overwatch because she doesn't play the game. But man, I would love, it sounds like it's gonna be awesome seeing the finals at BlizzCon.
Yeah. So November 3rd and 4th are the dates. What you should do? You should actually mute the stream and just do the commentary yourself solo, and then she will absolutely love it. So that's a relationship advice from Mushu Beef. That one's free of charge, but may have to charge you in the future, depending on how good my tips are. So,
let's get a couple beers.
That's a couple beers and and lemon tea so that you can keep going without destroying your voice.
Exactly, that'd be awesome.
Absolutely. So still working on the DC guys. Sorry for the wait. I'm gonna keep it paused. Meanwhile, don't be alarmed by that ticking. That is not a countdown for an explosion. That is the countdown for for this point. This makes me feel uneasy though, just listening to this. But,
No, I gotta say, if there's anybody in chat who is here specifically watching somebody, let us know. Light up the chat with their name. Let us know who you want us to see and who you yourself are rooting for.
For sure. But guys, we're you getting ready for season 3. Some changes to the way that teams are going to be able to enter. Before you could just sign up a solo. But what's really cool this year is it's about finding your team before you even sign up, and that's really important because you want to have like a team camaraderie. When you're getting just matched up together with kind of random people, you don't have as much ownership and have as much a feel for that it's your team, right? And so we're looking forward to the next season. I mean, this one was crazy. We had so many divisions, so many players, and just a lot of games played, a lot of matches casted, and but always going to be looking to improve. So I know we put out some check out the Discord if you guys are in the Twitch chat. Scroll down, check out that, join our Discord. But number 4, we get back into game. MKI is back.
Like we said, Gigabyte immediately popping that defensive ball here. He can use it very easily because he knows that his team has the high ground as far as ults go. But it looks like they might be actually getting pushed back here. Cement doing a great job of cleaning out Shadow. D.Va's only one on the point, along with Faith there, but they do have their supports in the back kind of holding up. Lucio finally coming in here with D.Va, so they're going to clean up the point, but it's 4v2 on the point specifically right now. Omnic finally coming around the corner here. If they can clean up, possibly taking on the Mercy. Faith getting nice kills along with the Mercy going down for the defense. Caseman coming in, taking out the Sentry as well. It seems like Choppy and MK are going to be the last 2 people on the point for the defense, and they're going to go down fairly quickly here.
Faith doing so much work on the damage dealers, on those squishies, and then moving on to the tanks as well. That is the perfect target selection that you want to see out of here. As he's without trying to get the Battle Mercy to get those points in order to get the res, but that's not going to be enough. It's only the Winston here. Not looking good for Fat Fingers.
I believe that's going to be the point. Finally, Cement coming in here very quickly, going to get taken out. Choppy tries to get in as well, but just too late. And that's going to be the game for Omnic Union. Well played. That last push was exactly what they needed to get in.
Yeah, it looks like they're going to be bringing up the tie. And on the time remaining, just 1 minute behind Fat Fingers. Man, these names are great. There's so many pun possibilities. I'll say I have one in mind, but I'll just save it for the end, and I'll just make it very obvious so that everyone groans. So yeah, we'll save that. But first and foremost, Omnic Union going to be on the attack first because they have the smaller time bank. Let's see how they decide to switch it up. Faith was absolutely nutty at the end there. We were talking about aimbot Calvin. It's pretty crazy when you have a DPS that can get the headshots and get the damage onto the backline, because that just completely flips the game. Can come out of nowhere and just completely wipe your damage, and you're out there again. With it being it's so important to have communication and team coordination. If all of a sudden one of your teammates dies, that just completely throws off your whole team in their plan.
The ult economy definitely helped out too. Lucio popping his ult fairly quickly there, but you may have noticed that because Faith was doing so much damage, putting in so much work, just like you said, we actually had D.Va who had her ult. She didn't even have to pop it till the very end. And she just popped it because the game was over. So D.Va could have popped her ult, but Faith was coming in there, getting those kills. They didn't even need to, so they just held it in their back pocket. We do have Omnic Union coming out here, coming around the top, looks like, going to rotate to the bottom and possibly come this side into the sentries of Symmetra. That's going to be a lot of damage, but they get them taken out fairly quickly there.
We see Omnic taking the same approach as they did earlier, moving up this left flank. It has success for them, so why change it here? As the Reinhardt's going to be, again, the battle line's drawn up here on this left side. There's some fighting on the upper ground as well. We see the battle between Shadow and Choppy Gamer as the soldier has to retreat around the flank, so the fight returns onto the point.
Starting to come in for Fat Finger. Fat Finger's doing a great job taking out Mercy, taking out the Monkey as well, and so that's going to mean that they're going to hold this point fairly well. Choppy doing a great job on the soldier, just getting the kills when he needs to get them, and really putting out the damage.
Yeah, it looks like Faith wasn't able to get into the backline as much as she would have liked. I'm not sure. We'll just go with the hero. And Zambam gets demac'd here, so it's going to be delaying their push even more, down to a minute here. to see if Zambam decides to suicide to get that mech back, because this is just going to keep delaying them. But Cement, again, getting caught out again. As I mean, we saw that before on the first push. Cement trying to go in aggressively with a Symmetra, was unfortunately was taken out, and so they're going to be pushing in here. We do have another DC, so we're trying to, well, looks like we're going to get a restart on the match. I mean, sorry, restart on the computer, and get that going. Want to make sure that when they're playing in optimal conditions.
I gotta say, Omnic Union is coming in here trying to roll in from the left-hand side. I did notice that it looked like their diva, Zam Bam, they'd lost that first push, and they weren't really going to get it. And I just noticed Zam Bam kind of fly into the middle of the point and still try to contest it, which I thought she should have stayed with her team. That's going to kind of cost their team a little bit. So I'm not I wasn't sure about that move, but really overall they still got a little bit of time, so we'll have to see. 55 seconds on the clock now.
Yeah, and that early fight between Shadow and Choppy Gamer was what was delaying that fight on the point from going one way or the other. I mean, they're relying so much on Choppy Gamer's damage, and being distracted by the Winston on the upper ground was what that kept that fight from breaking out. And then as soon as they disengaged from that fight, we saw Choppy Gamer picking up the kills onto two members, and then that was enough to really push back their defense.
And I gotta say, Choppy Gamer is doing work. He's already got his ult up. Faith having her ult up as well. But I feel like Choppy Gamer is just slightly, because of that aimbot, it's a little more powerful depending on how it's played. We do have Gigabyte coming in from the game, but we're still waiting on one person here for Team Fatfinger.
You're just finalizing the teams here. But again, so in terms of this point, we see, again, keep entering from this left side. Do you think the repeated attempt of the attack line, the attack direction, is a good and a bad idea in this situation?
We do see a lot of people rotate in from the left-hand side. I do think it is a good approach, but they do need to come in and get the picks that they're looking for. They specifically need to take out Choppy Gamer. They already got some Metro, which is a pretty good pick, but they need to start making picks for Choppy Gamer. So maybe they could have their Genji possibly go around the back and distract him a little bit, because he's coming in the front with his team as well. So maybe they want to diversify their attack that way.
Yeah, and even the pulse bomb ready from Faith, we've seen in the previous games, the pulse bombs are a lot of times the turning points in these battles here. So I mean, if you look at just the lineup from the side of Fatfinger, you could put it on the Mercy, you can put it on the Soldier, you can put it on the Lucio. Any of those would be really, really big. And even actually, you see a lot of times, sometimes in pro play too, they'll put a pulse bomb onto a tank as well. And the reason why is because the tank, especially in this meta of dive, it's about damage mitigation. You have the defense matrix. If that's down, then Faith will be able to do work. Caseman can get some shurikens in before dashing in and getting those one shots. And so getting a tank down is also very valuable as well. So we're gonna have to watch for where this pulse bomb goes in order to see how they think it would, what it would take to win the match.
I gotta say, tank is also the easiest guy to drop it on as well. So Faith can run in there as quickly as she wants, take out Winston just immediately by putting that bomb just on his back. It's very easy to hit, and it's always a great target, because the minute that you get hit by that pulse bomb, everybody knows, hey, attack this guy, and you're toast.
Yeah, for sure. Looks like we got some shout outs from chat. Shay. Where's Shay? I don't even know who that is.
We do have Gigabyte, though.
Maybe Shay is the one that just DC'd. So, but Gigabyte getting the shout out there. So, you see what after the pause, what hero he decides to choose into. But yeah, I guess since we just got to come up with stuff to talk about. I wanted to make a pun about cement, not cementing a kill or cementing the hold or something like that.
You could call her Cementra.
Oh. Okay. All right, guys. It was a great night. We'll see you. No.
One up in you there, buddy.
Wow, that was I did not expect to get outpunned, but that was really well played. Well played, sir. Well played. But looks like we've got a sub coming in here. Peace will be joining. Okay, that'll be your task. We got to work in peace. As it looks like we're almost ready to go to restart the match.
He does
Again,
go
we
Orisa.
could watch
She
for
can be
this.
the
Yeah.
peacekeeper.
Okay. Well, wait. So does Peace have to choose McCree now?
Yes, that'd be awesome.
Peace for the Peacemaker. That's almost a tongue twister. Peace for the Peacemaker. No, that's actually easy to say.
Peace pulling out his piece because they named the Peacemaker.
I like that. But we're about to jump in again. Pulse bomb. Got to choose wisely, and it's all. And you can see all of the side of Fat Fingers as well. They're close to their ultimates. The self-destruct, that sound barrier, as well as the res from the Mercy. And Chopper Gamer ready to throw down that attack visor. So, but yeah, it looks like we are counting down here, guys. One more second until the pause comes out. We're back into it.
Back in the game, guys. Fatfinger going on the defense, but Winston coming in slowly. Genji gonna come in here, but that's when the res comes in from the Mercy. Just bringing back Cement, actually, trying to keep her alive to contest the point. Fatfinger doing a great job of just staying alive. Zam Bam gonna take out Cement once again, so that res wasn't worth too much. D.Va gonna activate her ult on the point, but not gonna get anybody. Once again, they saw that coming a mile away. Aziz does go down for Fatfinger, so that's gonna mean that finally Omnic can kind of come in here and take out everybody else. So the heals aren't doing as much as they should. Lucio is just bouncing around the point, but he's slowly going to get taken out by Winston. David gets BMAC'd on the point as well, and this is the chance Fatfinger was looking for, and they're probably going to take this point.
And there we go, Cement not able to set the defense. All right, I'm going to stop now. We've sailed way past that. Well, okay, so if you're Faith was looking on the back line, had a lot of opportunities to stick the D.Va, but decided not to, and saw the priority onto the squishy. So we see very clearly that the feeling that as long as they're eliminating the healing, that is what's gonna win them this match. As already Faith back up to that ultimate as the engage happens on the point.
Genji coming in here with his ult along with the Lucio breaking it down to counteract that, so he's not gonna get too much damage, but that's when the res comes in from Fatfinger, doing a great job of really keeping it together. Sorry, from Omnic. They're gonna come in here and try to do a little bit of work. They already have the Winston shield up. Fatfinger slowly but surely falling apart here as Omnic's getting it together. Choppy's still on the point though. They need to take him out as quickly as they can. Lucio trying to bop in, but that's when Shadow comes in, really able to push everybody off the point, and that's a huge res coming in from Aziz. Gonna bring everybody back on the point. It's any man's game here on out.
Look at that kill feed. It went from being completely blue to completely red. Is here already the self-destruct coming out as well, clearing the point here, but still keeping the presence on the point. Omnic Union is going to be trying to battle it out as the kills return in their favor. They're able to get Discotheque out of the mech, so that's going to be the damage mitigation. Going to be eliminated there, but here comes the Dragon Blade on from Choppy Gamer. Going to be trying to clear the back line, but gets to take out Chase Man, and is going to be continuing to move around here. But the resources keep coming in from Omnic Union.
They got to take out Zach at some point. Zach's doing a great job keeping his team alive. And once again, another huge res comes in to save the day. That's going to keep Omnic alive much longer on this point. They're going to take out the Winston, defensive Winston, possibly take out the Lucio, yes, as well. Cement's probably going to go down in the second, has to fall back. May coming in on the point, actually, with Aziz, but Omnic is still alive and still kicking. They are not losing a lot of people, and they are taking out the defense, and that is going to be the last of it. D.Va coming on the point, but she can't do much. Gets into a squishy body, and that's going to be the game. Well played there by Omnic, just really pushing it through.
Yeah, and you look at their player portraits. Every single member of Omnic Union was on fire there at the end. And again, It was about the aggressive play from both the Genji and the Tracer opening it up, and that's how you want to rebound. That is what is the momentum push from the first and second point. And we saw how long the fight went on, so that's going to be props over to Fat Fingers for holding it as long as they did. But you saw how they kind of staggered in. How they staggered from the point. What they did was they captured with a couple of the heroes and then sent other people to be ready to go. But it wasn't just one person. It was two people in the DPS. They were able to land those picks early on. And then again, that is how you want to cascade to keep the momentum going. You get early picks and you put yourself in a position where you're always at least one man up.
Mm-hmm. Now, I got to say that there was stellar work from both Mercies on these teams. As we saw, the first major res that we saw came out of Aziz on the defense there. The entirety of Fatfinger was down. She comes in with that huge res and really just comes back defending. And then just in time, Gigabyte comes in with her own res and really holds the point. About 30 seconds to a minute later. So really seeing these reses are what saved the day for both teams. And you got to give the Mercies props, especially in that last point.
Yeah, that's for sure. I mean, we saw these fights. I mean, Overwatch is also known as the game of overtime, right? And then it's about those Mercies to keep it happening, to keep their teams in it. You see,
we noticed that.
Yeah, they're moving up the left side again.
Let's see, Omnic coming in, noticing that Fatfinger is going to come in from that left-hand side. The left-hand side seems to be the key pick here, but we've got a little bit of a case, man, almost getting caught in the center there. Does manage to get out of there, but Fatfinger's going to rotate in here fairly quickly from the left-hand side. Winston's going to hop in on the point, has a Zarya bubble on him as well. That's going to keep him alive fairly well. He's going to come in for Shadow, trying to get Shadow down, but does get taken down there by Peace. Seeing a lot of blue kills on the side. Go ahead, Mushu.
Yeah, Shadow gonna be bringing out that Mei again. We saw her coming out before, just kind of stall this first point, so that's gonna be coming out again. And now, again, like you said, a lot of blue in the kill feed, and they're gonna be closer also. Actually, no, they are farther away from that respawn, but they're able to reinforce here. Shadow putting up the wall just to buy a little bit more time.
My ultimate is almost ready.
Up there, what happened is we kind of saw, I believe we saw Disco finally fall out on the point, and that's when the team fell back. But it looks like they're going to try to come around, possibly around this left-hand side once again, and go for that attack. We actually see Caseman up top, taking a little bit of an aggressive stance here for his team.
And Gigabyte is holding on to that res as well. So Omnic Unique on this defense, going to make sure that that Mercy is able to stay alive. Is now here comes Caseman dropping the Primal Rage, but meanwhile on the point as well, the Genji Dragon Blade is going to be coming out, but going to be getting taken out. Choppy Gamer overextending while the rest of the team was occupied on the left side.
It's like Fatfinger's still going to try to come in here, but that's when the Lucio pops his ult for Omnic. Omnic's going to have a huge defensive buff here. Winston on the point, trying to go for the Mercy if he can, but not going to be able to. Has to fall back because he has such low health here. Possibly going to pop his ult anytime now, and just gets frozen in the beginning of his Primal Rage. Goes in on the point, trying to do some damage, but does get taken out there. That was actually awesome to see him frozen at the very beginning of his ult.
Dude, the Blizzard placement by Shadow was so crazy. It was going to be saving the lives of the Winston who was asleep, but also lining up and just getting the Ana frozen to the ground in order to allow Faith to land up the headshots. And that is what's keeping them in this game right now. Faith, again, with another shot onto Choppy Gamer.
30 seconds.
The front here, trying to once again to just keep Fatfinger from coming in the left-hand side, but the Archer's gonna take the left-hand side once again. Peace coming in the back here, but she's gonna get called out by Winston and have to fall back with the team one more time. Both teams really just kind of flexing at each other, saying, come at me, bro, come at me, bro. But we haven't seen one jump in quite yet until we see Fatfinger coming here, and that's when immediately Shadow comes in here and puts the ice wall up to kind of block out the Fatfinger team. A Nano Boost does come in on Winston though, so he's gonna be coming in trying to do some damage.
Yeah, for sure. This is now the last chance here for Team Fatfinger. So look for the red on this point where you want to see them more. And here comes the Graviton Surge all together, but the damage isn't able to come through. They're all together, but they're not able to get any health down from the side of Fatfinger. Just no damage coming through as Faith, again, still lining up those shots onto Team Fatfinger. And now they're starting to lose time. Discotheque, one of the last alive here, and he's getting frozen up, bouncing to the front line. Choppy Gamer, his last chance with attack visor, but gets completely stuffed by the defense matrix and getting frozen. Feels bad, man.
Oh man, we're only seeing blue on the board now, and that's going to be the game. Omnic finally defending that point. Fatfinger unable to take it. Well played.
Yeah, and you saw at the end there the hero play coming out from Choppy Gamer, bringing out the that attack visor. But again, D.Va is able to shut down Soldier so hard right now with the defense matrix and saving it for that. And so that's going to be good props over to Zambam on the side of Omnic Union. So we'll check out this play of the game. Going to be one of the reses in that crazy team fight, almost for sure.
Exactly. Here comes in the Zach coming in for the the double mad res and holding the point for his team. Like I said, man, last game it was really all about the reses, and those reses were coming in hot and heavy.
For sure. And we see, of course, everyone on the side of Omnic Union getting those upvotes, those updoots. Faith, 72 eliminations. My goodness, so much work. 72% kill participation. That's 100. That's 100 kills on your, or 100 eliminations total. Pretty crazy.
Oh my god, that is insane, man. That is insane work from Team Omnic. Well played to them. Congratulations to them. I do believe that is going to be the end of our cast, though.
Do we have Eichenwald
we
coming
actually
up?
have one more map. So yep, we have Eichenwald coming up. We will be seeing on Eichenwald, though. We will no longer be seeing Fat Fingers, as Fat Fingers is out of this. And we're already in the lobby. Is pretty much ready to go. We will be seeing once again Hello Mada going up against Omnic Union. So let's see if Omnic Union can take this and hammer down on the reigning leaders right now in this event. So Hello Mada has not lost a map yet. So if they lose, there's gonna be a tie break. There's pretty much gonna be two tied teams, as Dad Orange Crush and One Hit Kill are both tied right now with a record of 2-1. So if Omnic Union does come on top using that momentum they had and topple Hello Muda, we could be seeing a tiebreaker between Hello Muda and either Dat Orange Crush or One Hit Kill. So
Awesome. We just see TLMO back. We saw some great plays. Shusky, the big tank, and Mingo Dynasty. We're going to see if we're going to... Oh, my goodness. Eichenwald, almost definitely going to see some Widow out here.
yeah,
I gotta say, man. We saw Mingo, like the Mingo, the only time we saw them was the first game, and I still remember that name, and I still remember those headshots. TLMO as well, man. I'm looking forward to Helamuda putting in some work.
Yeah, and I mean, the matchup I'm going to have to call out here is Faith versus Mingo Dynasty. We saw Faith doing such good work on the Tracer into the backline and able to get in the tracking to land enough damage here. So Mingo Dynasty, yeah.
Oh, I just want to point out, we actually have a not really rivalries. We got some friends on both sides of the board. So Hello Mada looks like they lost one of their players, and they ended up pulling in one of TLMO's old teammates, Zuriel. And on the other side of the board, Omnic Union has one of their players as well on the same team, Zambam. And Faith also hangs out in the Discord. I don't know if they're just one of their friends or something, but there's actually some friendships on both sides of the board. So like a two versus two kind of thing that we'll see. You'll definitely going to notice that Zuriel and or TLMO are going to be focused on Zambam or Faith and vice versa. So they might have they might make some not smart decisions just so they can take them out and maybe try to embarrass them. So we'll see what happens with that. We will be seeing Hello Muda on defense first, and Omnic Union, of course, on attack. This is Eichenwald, so let's see if we see some. I mean, I'm fairly certain we're going to see Mingo Dynasty on that Widow, and let's see. This is the last time that we can get Doomfist. Let's see if someone makes us happy and brings it out.
Please,
it's
I
doubtful,
need it.
but
I will be tilted if we don't get Doomfist.
It is on the EU tournament today. There was like Doomfist all across the board.
What?
But yeah, like all the whole time. When I was tuning into it, I swear I saw Doomfist like majority of the time.
Wow.
But here in NA, I guess we don't like Doomfist, so we're stuck on the meta. That's why the Koreans always come up with the better metas faster than us, because we're too stuck on something. But Case Man better not be pulling our buttons here, as he's teasing right now.
Please.
Teasing the Doomfist, and he
Case
switches
Man,
off, of
why?
course, gonna go to the Genji. And maybe that's why Mingo is running the Widow. I mean, we talked about before that, you know, some ranged heroes are kind of a counter for Doomfist. So I mean, they have both Zuriel on the Soldier and Mingo gonna be on the Widow. So it kind of is counter, but it still would be nice to see it at least once. At least once for like some team does whips it out. And not just for like one second.
I gotta say, doesn't have a dance emote, he's not gonna get played. Pure and simple.
Defend objective A.
That's absolutely it. Jeff Kaplan, please. Oh my goodness! Wait, already a pick onto Faith. getting taken out by Mingo Dynasty, so has sights only for this Tracers here. So we're going to see how they decide to approach here. Shuski getting a double kill as well. This attack is probably going to be stopped very soon here, but they're still poking in, just trying to farm that ultimate as you see the Tracer blink out.
Omnic's trying to figure out exactly how they want to make that push, because Mingo's coming in here super aggressive, already coming in for the point, trying to, get the kills that she can, but, immediately that Widow is paying off in dividends.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Widow already up to the ultimate, already finding able to the shots, and Zuriel with the, my goodness, that shot already onto the Tracer, as well as the kill feed is completely full of Hello Muta's team. And again, it's about, so here, what do they have to stop the Widow shots? A defense matrix and a Winston bubble? I mean, those can be burned down so quickly. So in order to get through this very narrow choke point, Omnic Union's gonna have to think of something in order to change it up.
Mingo once again getting that shot on Caseman. In the meantime, Omnic really just trying to figure out exactly how they want to come in here. Not a lot of kills going on the board, but really they're just they're being held back at this wall. Finally getting a little bit of a rotation in here on the side here. They're going to go for the right-hand side. Diva's going to come in from the front. We still have no kills left, though. They need to start making some picks and quick, possibly taking out Mingo if they can. Diva popping her ult, but it's not going to get anybody, unfortunately, and that's going to mean that, once again, it looks like this Omnic push may be held back. Actually, we have a Reinhardt coming in. He's got Winston up his tail, and finally Zuriel comes out, cleaning up with Prime as well. Prime coming in, taking out Caseman, taking out Reinhardt, but that's when the huge res comes in. Immediately followed up by a sleep on Reinhardt.
Yeah, Reinhardt here can only block damage from one direction, so was caught out in the middle there, but the big res did come through from Gigabyte, so it brought them back to life, but it was not enough to sustain the push. I like that early push that they did. They worked their way around the left side and just killed the sight line of Mingo Dynasty, but now they're back to exactly where they started.
Res came in clutch, but it didn't come in clutch enough, because once again, Halamuda could just put out the damage and take him back down to nothing. And in fact, the minute Reinhardt came back, he was immediately sleeped, opening him up fairly quickly there. And we actually see Faith going her own Widowmaker, so it's going to be Widow v Widow. That's what you want to see. In the back, they're actually fighting a little bit now, as you say it. But that means that Omnic has a chance to finally open up and walk in. Already both the tanks, Reinhardt and Diva and Lucio coming on the point. Diva popping her ult. Does she get any kills? Doesn't get any kills, but does clean up the point. Caveman taking out a Widowmaker as well. Lucio taking out Emily, and that's going to mean that Omnic finally has a chance to come in. They have a Winston on the point to take care of, as well as a Diva. But with this breakdown, it's going to be fairly easy for them to clean up.
They don't know if they really needed that sound barrier, as no one was really on the point here. They do have the ultimate popping out from Shuski, trying to keep everyone off the point, as he's the only one really alive there, and now a really good defensive reinforcements coming back here, as now they're trickling back in. Mingo Dynasty already back.
Omnic needs to take care of these guys quickly, because Mingo Halamuda is coming in fairly fast here. TLMO is on the point, trying to do the best they can just to keep it alive. But if they can take her out, then that's going to mean that Omnic finally have this point ready to go. Tactical Advisor already coming out. Hammer Down coming out as well on the point, just to take down one person. Winston's on the point as well. Diva Mingo coming back as well. This may be the comeback that Halamuda was looking for, and Omnic needs to stop it somehow. But with Diva popping her ult on the point, that's not going to be the case. Mingo coming in, cleaning up, and that's going to be the point back to Halamuda.
Wow, they were so close to getting that point. But it was all about Shuski on the defense, just buying so much time there, waiting till the last moment to get the Primal Rage off, and then just battling them off the point. And here, rewarding Shuski with the Nano Boost. We see what he's able to do on the front line. He's able to keep Zambam at bay as Caseman jumps in. Dragon Blade a little bit too late.
And I gotta say that if Omnic had just had a little more control and just taken out the small people on the point, they might have had it. Because at one time we saw an Ana on the point. I believe we saw a squishy Diva just holding the point barely, but that was just enough time to get Shuski there. And when he got there, he was able to hold it for those reinforcements, and then Mingo came in and just cleaned up.
Yeah, they got an early pick on Shuski, and that's why they were able to get all the way onto the point. Not having a tank that was going to dive into the back line is what Omnic Union really needed in order to get to that position. But they killed him so early and were not able to move as quickly onto the point, so he was able to respawn and get back. And there might have been some over-aggression there from the side of Omnic Union, trying to snowball into the next phase, because we saw a lot of the heroes moving off the point to try to stall in front. But meanwhile, there was already a monkey in the back that was stalling as well. So unfortunately, not communicating there in terms of what the priority should have been, and it just didn't work out for him.
We did see a couple ults wasted by Omnic too, I gotta say, because remember we saw that Lucio ult in the middle there that we thought might not be necessary. We saw Reinhardt, I believe, he hammered down on maybe 1 or 2 people. If they had saved those, it might have saved them the point.
Yeah, the Earth Shadow was solo onto Zerial, so I mean, it could be some of the midweek madness, the rivalries here. But again, pretty funny. But again, they're only able to get 55% on the point because of that. Again, it was a wasted Earth Shatter. It was a wasted Lucio sound barrier, and so this might come back to haunt them. Is now we see Shadow back on that Mei. When they're doing control points, this is such a strong pick in order to just and be able to isolate from the rest of the, pick and choose your battles. And that's what the power of Mei is. You get to pick and choose the battles that you want and put yourself in a position to where you're manipulating the fight.
Exactly. Mingo is still staying on the Widowmaker, but this time we do not see a Widowmaker coming out of Omnic, so it's going to be kind of interesting to see how they want to counter this exactly. And if Mingo is as dynamic on offense as she is on defense.
Yeah, so they won't have as much damage able to dump through onto the sight line. What they're relying on is this Orisa, this Torbrissa. Is that how we decided to say it? And so keeping that shield up in front of that turret and it does have views all the way through that choke point and all the way through that left side as well. So really good positioning here so far with the turrets.
Winston and an Orisa with a shield up as well, but it looks like the whole team. Faith is just on fire, going insane, got that ult up completely. But she did pass back though.
Yeah, I don't know if we saw how Faith would love an instant replay if somehow how Faith got to the Widowmaker, because that should not happen. Why is the Symmetra getting to the backline and getting to your Widowmaker? But now they're switching it up, bringing the Pharaoh to the attack.
She went through every single person to get to the Widowmaker. She killed like 4 people back there, got her ult up along with Torb's ult up as well. So that means that Helamuda is going to be pushing into 2 ults, very strong defensive ults at that. So it's really going to be interesting to see how they make this push. And I think they have a teleporter or a shield generator, by the way.
Yeah, so in the same move that Omnic used, they moved around this left side to cut off the sight line under the main point. They are able to use it to push onto here, but then it looks like they're going to be starting to lose the heroes here. Zerial high up above, trying to get some damage down, trying to finalize a kill into the turret, but it's just sitting behind that shield that can get replenished so easily by the Orisa, and it looks like they're going to be fending off yet again another defense.
Yeah, exactly. Do you know whether or not Omnic picked, Omnic, they picked the teleporter. Okay, so they got the teleporter in the back here, doing work for the team. That's going to mean that Helamuda really needs to figure out exactly how they want to handle that teleporter, because that can be a huge advantage for the Omnic here.
Yeah, and the reason why they're doing teleporter here most likely is because you have champions that are having heroes, that are trying to get picks, right? If you get someone who gets headshotted, the shield is not going to help you, right? So you'd rather have them respawn and be able to get to the front line as quickly as possible, as opposed to just giving some people more shield. So very smart pick here from the side of Omnic Union, and so hopefully they won't all get killed at the same time and have to use the teleporter at the same time.
I noticed the versatility coming in here out of Hula Mata. Immediately they notice that their team has a lot of people who are weak against Symmetra. So they go Symmetra. She can take down the turret. She could possibly take down Orisa with her shields as well. So this is going to be very interesting to see how they use that Symmetra to go in for that turret. But immediately Winston hopping in on the turret, on the point, hacking coming in as well. Lucio breaking down the point. This may be exactly what their team needed. Diva popping her off in the corner, going to take down that sentry. And then the res comes in. Res coming in from Gigabyte to keep their team alive. But it may not be enough, as we see Helamuda finally turning in onto this point.
Yeah, everyone on the point right now is red, which is the defensive team here. So Prime both jumping in, and as well as the Winston as well. So there's just no other damage here. So now it's just tanks that Omnic Union has to chew through, and they should be okay here. But TLMO is able to get 2 kills on this backside.
Doing an immense amount of work and just aren't taken care of. TLMO in the background here can't really go against it. Zerial can't really go against it. This turret just has too many shields, and nobody can seem to really keep track of where it is.
Yeah, but if they can't track down the Sombra, that might come down to bite them, because already she's very, very close to that ultimate, but the Blizzard comes out on defense.
As well as the turret going up in the corner, so that's going to be a lot of defense for the team, but finally we got Winston popping in from the defense as well. Unfortunately, we're seeing a lot of blue kills, so possibly along with that hack coming out, they're going to be able to clean up here. Mercy does go down, so that's going to be no res for the defense, and finally Helamuda is able to kind of control this point. We have Orisa on the point left, but she's going to get taken out fairly quickly, and that's going to be the point to Helamuda.
Oh, that's going to be ticking up very quickly, and they can't get someone on the point. That's going to be match. Hello Mata. Going to be taking the match here off of a very strong push. And again, it was about their inability to chase down those kills. Shadow was able to buy a lot of time with the Mei and pick the battles, but unfortunately not able to contain the Sombra with the translocator.
I gotta give it to Hello, because they really did a great job of just immediately bringing that Symmetra out, or sorry, that Sombra out. But here is the play of the game from Faith.
Hopefully we see the Widowmaker kill out of this, and she's going to be actually on this left side as well. Was that the Widow? No, this is going to be taking out the Soldier. Yeah, they're just going all the way to the back, and no one calmed out that there is a Symmetra on the back line, which should never, ever happen. But it was not enough. Mingo's still going down. I mean, Hello Mata still taking that undefeated today on the Midweek Madness.
I gotta say, man, when you see that Symmetra just walk through everybody, that's kind of scary, you know? She literally walked through a Lucio, it looked like the Soldier as well, just walked over, got the, and then got Widowmaker. Like, nobody was stopping her.
Yeah, that was scary. Just chaotic battles, that's where Symmetra excels. And, you know, she was always strong on Icon Vault and defense, but you can see just with that, of course, the change happened a while ago, but that moving shield was just so huge for making her even stronger in Icon Vault. But yeah, guys, I think that's going to be it for our games.
Yep.
Can we confirm?
Yeah, that's going to wrap it up, and Hello Muta's going to be winning this with a 4-0 record. Rounding that off in second place was Dat Orange Crush.
Hey.
After that was One Hit Kill, followed by Omnic Union, and unfortunately Fat Fingers fell with 0 wins here. So
yeah, that was definitely the cast curse. So I have to apologize to Fat Finger for that. But we had fun watching their games for sure.
Yeah, we did. I mean, I did think about, you know, following Hello Muta just because I know, like, TLMO, as he's kind of a buddy of mine, and, like, I didn't know Zuriel was going to be on the team, and if I would have known Mingo Dynasty would have been an amazing Widow, I probably would have went with that team right away. Maybe next time I'll realize that, but congratulations to Hello Muta. You guys will be getting your pink name soon. So congratulations there, and for everyone here that doesn't know what Overwatch University is, it's a community dedicated to helping players and even casters and coaches get better at what they enjoy doing. So you see here we got 3 of us casters that are, you know, just trying to get better at casting, as well as helping others get involved with casting, as well as we have, you know, people who are trying to become coaches. You can start here, coach some lower level teams. We have teams all the way from bronze to Grandmaster. So stay tuned. Season 3 info will be coming up shortly. If you want to follow us, be sure to follow us here and on Twitter at OW University. Be sure to go to our Discord at discord.gg/OW University, as well as Reddit, as you can see at the bottom of the stream, as well as in the channel description. Be sure to go there. That's a subreddit that this community is based off of. And of course, our website, owuniversity.com. It's where we will be posting likely the Season 3 signups, as well as providing more info on our Discord. And we'll likely have like an info session like we had for before Season 2, a little QA session on the changes that are coming once we announce those, and so on and so forth. So, once again, I'm Pimpin' the Crib. This is Moshu Beef and Tough on Dirt. Thank you guys for joining, and thank you all for watching.
And thank you guys so much.
Peace.
Have a great night.